What is going on, everybody? Happy Monday. It is our Monday night live stream here at 52 Topics with Frank Fiordolino. Let's get a couple of people in here first before we start. Frank, what's going on, man? How are you?
Good. I don't see nobody on the comments. Is that right?
Yeah, there's only 4 people right now. I'm sure they'll start coming in. We'll let them funnel in. If you're in the chat, few people that are here now, please say hello. We are waiting to feel your presence. Unless it's going to be a real doozy tonight. We are waiting to feel your presence. Barzalette, what's going on, buddy? Here we go. First commentator. You get a T-shirt. You get a T-shirt. First commentator.
Barzalette, yeah. We got to make those T-shirts.
Beep. Oh, you turn your phone off. Turn your phone off.
You get a T-shirt. Am I all over the feed now?
Yeah, you're good. You're good. BB, what's going on? Frank, you're all over my feed. That's awesome. We love to hear that. Juan, hola, what's going on, buddy? Templar 13, what is going on?
Templar.
17 people. All right. Who's that girl? There she is, Maureen. Hey, Trouble. Hello, Brett. Very nice. Very nice. I like the script. I like that. That's very nice. Yeah. Very classy.
That's okay.
Very classy. Very classy. So let's see. What's up, Rob Bastillo? We're going to be talking about a couple of things we put out. We're going to be talking about a couple of other things. We'll talk about Frank. He was on OC Shorts. He did an interview over there, about a half-hour segment on OC Shorts channel. The reception is pretty good so far. 99% positivity in the comments. A couple of people here and there. That's to be expected. If you guys go over to my channel, NYC Crime Spot, please. I'll be doing an interview with somebody this Tuesday. I'll probably put that out. We have our shows on Wednesday. Probably put that out on Thursday. I'm going to be interviewing an author who just came out with a book. So we'll be talking about some organized crime with him. And Frank, I think we got a couple of people we want to shout out, some individuals.
Yeah, absolutely. So Big Al, if you're listening, thank you, buddy. I appreciate that. That was real nice of you. Big Al is the closest connection these days I had to my late brother Joe. They were good friends. They grew up together. So every time I see him, it warms my heart. If you're listening out, love you, bro. Love you. So we got who? We got Scott and Capello. Capello, man, he's a contributor to this show. He's helping us grow, and everybody on the chat. That doesn't matter. Times are hard. I understand sometimes donations. I get it. But thank you to all that do, and even to those that don't. I'm just glad that you guys are here and making us grow. We invest in the show. We're trying to make the show a little bit bigger. So thanks, guys. I appreciate all these. If I forgot somebody, let me look. And Emerald and my man Southie out there, Southie in Boston, Emerald Isle Car Service. Check him out. That's my man right there. He's been a fan for a long time. Not a fan, he's also a friend. Okay, let me get that. I don't like that word, fan. I'm not a celebrity. So thank you guys for being here. I consider you guys friends and acquaintances. Until we become friends, like life. But thank you. And Mo, what's up, Mo? Mo wants to kill me.
Yeah, right, shout out to everybody that's leaving comments. Matt Sweeney. Shout out to Matt Sweeney.
We love you, Matt Sweeney.
He's always in the comments section.
We see you in the comments. And C's out there, Chris Breed, all you guys. Love you guys.
Timothy O'Reilly. Thank you, buddy. $2 from Timothy O'Reilly. Frank, good job on OC Shorts.
Thank you. Thank you.
Tim, shout out to you too. He shows up every live stream. He donates, and he's always asking questions. He loves it. Timothy O'Reilly loves a Q&A. I know that. Loves to ask questions, and we love that too. Frank, so being that he just mentioned OC Shorts, so how do you think that interview went on that channel? Because it is it's a big, as far as platforms on YouTube in this space right now. OC's got the most subs in this space. He's probably going to hit 100,000 soon. So it's a bigger platform for you to go on. How do you think it went? And what is your impression of James? I guess you could say James at OC Shorts.
I was starstruck, really, because I've never spoke to him, and the next thing he comes up on the screen, I'm like, oh, you know what I mean? Good, it went well. He's one of the best at what he does, So yeah, of course. It was kind of an honor to be on this show. As a podcast, he's one of the best. There you go, Southie in the house, man. My man. But yeah, I'm gonna have to
Anyone have the link? She's gonna have to catch. Yeah, I'll get you the link.
Oh yeah.
I'll get you the link right now, Maureen. I think Ro might be busy. That's fine though. Ro needs a vacation. Dealing with us all the
Where's
time.
Ro?
Dealing with us all the time is, it's a lot.
Yeah, there's something missing. Where is Ro? Ro, if you're out there, we love you. She's a real important part of this show, and she really just is. And another one that helps us is helping us grow. And thank you, Ro. We love you. I love you. And thank you for
There's
being.
the link. There's the link to OC Shorts interview. Thank you, Southie. Thank you, Maureen. Yeah, check that out. Cindy Birch, how are you? Thanks. Another person who always joins us for the live streams. We really appreciate that. Another fat, bald Italian. This guy gets around, huh?
Another friend, yes. Hey, yeah. He's funny too. I've had the pleasure of being on panels with him, and this is a funny gentleman right here. We love you, bro. We love you.
I've had the pleasure of having dinner with another fat, bald Italian one night, actually.
Yeah, there was a couple of years. We're not going to mention who, but it was quite the event.
I wasn't at that one. It was another one. There was no phones and cameras out at the one that I was at. Not that I requested that, but that's just how it was.
So okay. Now we'll talk about that in private. Yeah.
Chris Breeder, you got to go on Bernstein next. He says, "Psych." You were on there a couple of times back. In the past couple of years, though,
I think twice or maybe once. I don't remember, but James is like family, so who might be popping up. I spoke to him a little while ago.
I said Matt. I meant Brett. No, that's all right. Hey, Matt's my middle name. Matthew's my middle name. So you know what? You want to call me Matt? That's fine.
Yeah. So he basically I was there for James, because but. I don't know. At the time, it wasn't like Bernstein irked me the wrong way. It's just recently with the stuff that comes out of his mouth, it kind of like his resources is whatever. I don't care for his. Not as a person. As a person, he's probably a great guy, whatever, better than I ever be. But as a journalist, I mean, his stock is going down.
Hello once again to Cindy. Oh, back to OC Shorts. Yeah, so you think it went well? Everything was good over there on that side?
It went very well. I think, I mean, a lot of people have heard that side of my story already, about my upbringing and who my family was, still is, I guess. And not all of them, but a good bulk. And that was it. But yeah, maybe we could work on another time together, more about my life in that situation than rather my family's.
Yeah. And then if anyone else, maybe, like we're trying to, I think we're some talks right now. We're going to try to, hopefully we're setting up Frank on something else at some point. And we're going to keep trying, keep going, try to, Frank wants to do shows, we want to bring more awareness to this podcast. And, of course, we'll let you guys and gals know whenever that is going to happen. So, Frank, we put out the Alley Boy Persico, which we've been talking about for a while, putting that one out. We finally were able to put it out. I think it was a pretty cool conversation.
Right.
A lot of people liked it. It for our channel, it's been growing fast in views. What I took away from that was, first of all, like, I think I said this to you before I even knew anything. I said, I always look at Allegory Persico's mug shots, and I know it's a mug shot. People are not in the best of moods. But to me, he looked like a frightening individual from like two mug shots in particular. Like a very stern, very stern man.
Stern man.
He was a stern man, but very stern, very intimidating looking. And I'm sure there is a reason for that. He's taking a mug shot. But you said he was standoffish, right?
Yeah, and standoffish and give one-liners sometimes. That was sometimes unnecessary to people. But to himself, he wasn't like he was bothering anybody. According to Jack and Ross, he was totally different on the outside. I didn't know him on the outside. Although one time I think we ran into him I almost got into we did get into a confrontation with a guy who came up to one of my friends and asked him his name. And when I seen Ali, I thought he looked familiar. And when my friend said, my name is, I thought it was John Gotti, he said, and real sarcastically, and kept going. And we ended up in a tussle. It wasn't bad. And later on, I always looked at Ali, in the back of my mind. I said, I hope he doesn't think that was us. And I hope it ain't who we thought it was, because we got the better hand on that one. And it was later I found out it was a topless bar that he used to go to a lot.
Wow.
And I was like, oh fuck. I go, yeah. And you know what? I'm usually the aggressor in those situations that my friends were. That day, something was just fucking not right. We had my friend park outside. We we gave it pretty good, not a beat bad one, but it was good enough, and we just got the fuck out of there. But then I would look at him sometimes and say, is that him? And I was like, I don't know, and this was in Queens, so that always was stuck in my head. And
That's
I'm
interesting.
usually,
Wow.
yeah. And then the way he used to act sometimes, and the way that went down, and the guy was a little older. My friend, maybe he had like 15 years on us. And then we just got the fuck out of there quick. But
Wow.
yeah, I don't
Makes
know.
you wonder. Yeah. Wow.
Makes me wonder. Now if he's listening to this, he's probably saying, "You motherfucker."
Mickey Griggs, what's up, buddy? Here's an interesting one. Andrej, Frankie, what are your feelings about the Columbos? Yeah, I saw this one too. Italian American Civil Rights Leagues. I don't know if they're suing Sammy the Bull or they're going after the network that's apparently making his television show. They put out this big thing against him. What is your opinion?
I'm not a fan of Sammy. We know that, but at the same time, wow. If you want to go after Italians that make Italians look bad, you're right there. You live in Howard Beach, Gerard. Go after that. Go after the mobsters that you represent. If you really care about your people as much as you do. And I like Gerard because I grew up with him. I grew up with him, and I know him since we were kids. But I don't know. It's kind of like I don't know. It's like Al Sharpton representing somebody who robbed a couple of people and then got shot after. You know what I mean? It's like you kind of deserved it. Who you representing? A fucking mugger because he got shot?
Yeah.
You know
he
what
got
I mean?
stabbed, right? That was when he got stabbed, I think, right?
You want to go after a mob rat because he's no longer a mobster?
Right.
All right, go ahead, have fun.
I just think it's like and we see this. We also see this in the like the whole mob tube community or whatever. Like once you fall into this rabbit hole, whether it be anti-informant or anti-rat, I think a lot of other things come with that. And I think he's probably in that camp where they all act kind of the same way. They conveniently ignore a lot of this other stuff and they push out a certain message, and it's hypocritical. The other thing is a little hip, and I'll get to the comments in a second. The other thing that I find hypocritical, and listen, I feel bad for anybody that loses a father, anybody who's lost a family member in that life. But it's like you're talking about the victims. Well, with the exception of maybe a couple of them, we know who they are. Most of those guys who ended up
crime on crime
was essentially crime on crime. Some of them maybe not the best people in the world. I know people have a clean-cut view of like a Robert DiBernardo. As far as I know, he was involved in selling some really bad stuff. Maybe behind the scenes, not the greatest stand-up individual, but I don't know. I start thinking about stuff like that too.
The family, your father. I get it. It was your father. He died. Whatever. He was great to you guys. Whatever. But keep it going. They were, that's the way I see it. I mean, if somebody killed me tomorrow, I won't want anybody in my family want justice.
Right. And that's what happened when they were on that the program in the early 90s. I don't know if it was Sawyer, I forget who it was, when you had Robert DiBernardo's daughter and some of the other people there. And I think the question is even posed like your family, like your dad was a criminal, right? I think it got a little uncomfortable if I remember correctly. It's been a while. But
Giorgio's daughter too. When Messino got sentenced, she made a victims impact speech. But that was no aim. He was married. It was involved in a triple homicide. It was involved in a lot of the other things. I mean, whatever.
James Buccellato's in the chat. He says, "Good evening, gentlemen. Great episode with OC Shorts." Thank you, James. Thanks for joining us. Cindy, Brett, I've been watching NYC Crime Spots. Oh, thank you. Appreciate that, Cindy. Thank you. Check out this week.
We got James in the house. What's up, James?
I have an interview coming out this week on the channel. I don't do many interviews there, but yeah, this week there will be one. Andre, the Bulls victim, Alan Kaiser. Yeah, Alan Kaiser. That's a bad one. I don't know the full story with the Schibetta and apparently a Russo guy or whatever was mentioned by Jeff last time. I don't know much about that. Is it possible that those guys are also non-criminal victims? Yeah, maybe.
I think Mo's asking the question. Okay, will you raise to be part of one day, or did just no, I mean, no, I wasn't raised into that, but when school wasn't my thing anymore, and the quality of friends I was hanging out with, and I wasn't any better, it kind of just, well, you know what, he's going that route anyway, so you might as well just fucking keep an eye on him before somebody fucking hurts him. I think that my family fell into that. But did my mother want me to be a criminal? Absolutely not. But she definitely didn't want me to become a cop either. She wanted me to go to work, make money, and mind my fucking business. I can say that for all my friends too. It's not like, oh, this boy's gonna be a prince and he's gonna come out to be like one of the top gangsters. I'm pretty sure there's fathers that thought that way, to mold their kids into that lifestyle. It usually don't work though. There's very few. Alley Boy is probably the exception, one of the exceptions, but there's a lot of people that look into their kids thinking they got this divine intervention. A relative of mine was guilty of that, very guilty of that. Actually, yeah.
I'll put the link in the chat if James Buccellato or maybe anyone might want to come on and say something. If anybody wants to come on and pose a question behind the scenes, I'll see you behind the scenes, I should say, first, and I'll let you in. So no naked stuff. Make sure you got some clothes on. No, you're not gonna make like the radio. You're not gonna make it through the call if.
And if Drumcappella is out there, come pick up the link to
anybody. We're just keeping it loose. We did have a guest that was potentially planned for tonight. Didn't work out in the end. We hope to get that individual on at some point, and I know you guys would love to hear from him. So with about an hour or so before this show, we found out that it wasn't going to happen. So we're kind of just winging it. We're talking. We promised you guys a Monday night live stream, so here we are. Let's see.
And if you're out there, James, grab that link.
Yeah, there's a link in there down there if anybody wants to get it, James or anyone else. Somebody said something about Chicky DiMartino. I wanted to catch that one.
Yeah, I talk about Chicky. He was in that last one we did where he. I don't know who. I don't even know who he is.
Oh, he said was it Chicky DiMartino that pissed him off? That pissed off Alley Boy.
It could have been anybody too. He just didn't want no messages from people coming in. He just and he held court and he made it very well known. And Jackie got offended. And
yeah.
They hashed it out. The next day they were all cool again.
Yeah, I don't know much on him. Colombo, I know a little bit, whatever. The guy that we might have had on today probably definitely knows about him, except for that crazy story that Casso told about him that I mentioned, about him sitting on Jimmy Heidel and witnessing the mafia cops abduct Heidel as he's sitting on him to take him, to whack him himself.
Right.
DiMartino, which is a fucking crazy story. If true, big if true, as they say. Big if true.
Nuts.
As Vidzilla, do you think the NFL is rigged?
You know what? I'm just sick of the fucking NFL. I was watching that Philadelphia game. They took thanks, Lefty. He took homeboy, right? They took the Redskins right out of the game, the Commanders, whatever. Don't want to offend anybody, but they took them out of the game with them stupid calls, man.
Yeah, I heard there's a real I mean, I don't watch much sports to be honest, but I hear there is a real controversial call that happened. Is this correct?
Oh, I don't remember. I at that point I was just pretty much pissed. But as long as the referees make the money they make, and the players make the plays they, and the players make that kind of money, they're gonna always try to control the narrative of a game.
Yeah. Lefty, yeah, thank you. Yep, thank you. Frankie's ugly mug. Yeah, we're just happy Frank is on the screen. We love it finally. Unique Massive
Thank
says
God.
God bless. Andre says, Frank, are the families from Trapani, do they look down on Castellamare del Golfo?
No, they get along. They get along. The Trapanese get along with. They're not as powerful as they used to be, but with the resurfacing of a lot of arena guys in the 90s that went towards from Castellamare, which usually were the other side, they became looked upon pretty good. But they're not the Castellamares in Italy are not like the Castellamares in New York though. In America, at not no more at one time. They were in New York. They were much more powerful. They were American. They were one of the families.
Yeah. Well, yeah. Wild Bill was close to Chicky and DeRoss. Look how that turned out. Yeah.
Yeah. Well,
Maureen says, "Don't start the Philly shit."
No Philly shit. What was I gonna say about that? Yeah, the Ross thing. I don't know. I wanted to ask our guest that would have been here today. My question was, did you think the moment that war was over, they always planned to do, to get rid of Big Bill, God rest his soul? You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah.
Was it always in the plans, or it just happened one day? I don't know.
Because that would have been what, 6 years after, I think, right? 6 or 7 years after the war ended.
Mm-hmm.
Bill,
Yeah. It was 99, I think. So the war ended,
Yeah.
6 years like that.
Yeah.
Good man there, bro.
Yeah.
Good man.
Unbelievable. Yeah.
Yeah.
Hey, there he is, our buddy David Price. QQQ. Question. Is Alcamo currently the mandamento for Trapani province?
I don't know. I believe they don't switch though. It's always the same thing, even though the power might be in my town, which is right next to it. I don't think they switch off. It's always like consider like the towns in Palermo. The families might look different, but they don't lose their zoning. You know what I mean? Alcamo's a bigger town. Alcamo's 70,000 the last I checked it, because Castellamare's like 12,000.
12,000 residents? Residents? Wow.
Yeah. In the summer, we have more because it's a tourist area, so people come in, but for the most part, it's 12,000 residents or something to that nature.
Lefty says, what's something that you learned in that life that you still utilize?
Oh, surroundings.
Being aware.
Surroundings. I mean, they're keener now, but even back then, when you do something wrong, you always fucking look around, what's that old phrase? And this was a Vito Grimaldi one that he says, you do good in life, you forget. You do bad, you remember. So,
yeah.
So, surroundings. I'm always aware of my surroundings.
One more from Lefty. He says, would you ever walk in a room thinking you might not walk out?
Yes, definitely. I was involved in a couple of close calls, and I would go somewhere, and when somebody just has enough of your bullshit, and you just fucking, you topped it off, it can't get any worse, and you fucking, you're called down to a sit down, and you're like, I'm fucked. Whatever happens, happens.
Yeah.
But you just get numb. That's what happens. You're gonna fucking, something's gonna happen. You just get numb. If it happens, it happens. If you're out of there, you take a breath, and you'll go like this, and now you're just left with the problem you got. You know what I mean?
That's gotta suck, dude. I don't know.
Yeah. You're numb though. You become numb.
Did you know Bruno Delicato? If so, what kind of person was he? And do you think he's still active member of the Bonanno family?
No, I mean, it just seemed like Bruno Implicato was always in jail, or when he came out, he was on parole, and then he would go back in. And the other thing about him is he wasn't too close to my side. I mean, I have
Right.
people in my family that killed his dad. You know, I mean, so
Yeah.
God rest his soul. But yeah, it's a difficult one.
100 people, please hit the like, leave a comment, let us know you're in the house. Thank you. PF Droney says, Frank, did you know Randy Scafuri operated in Broward in South Florida? He was my uncle. Introduced me to Chili and a bunch of other guys. Randy
No,
Scafuri.
no. I didn't know no Randy Scafuri. Believe it or not, I just started going to Florida not too long ago. Even when I was out in the streets, I never went to Florida. Pretty nice place, but there's my presence there, I hear,
Uh,
especially in the Fort Lauderdale side to all the way
yeah,
to
for
Miami.
sure. Of course.
Yeah.
Frank, why do most Southern Italians embrace fascism? Is that right?
I don't know. Obviously they did at one time, but they were blackballed real quick after 43, after the invasion of of the states in Sicily. But they got blackballed. But they did exist, and they still did. I remember the undercover ones. They were the ones who didn't like the mob guys in New York, but really didn't say much. But now and then they would slip and it'd come to people's attention. But nobody gave a fuck because they were irrelevant. Um, we didn't have much commies that we knew of, or that mentality in New York. I guess they wouldn't let them in at one point, but that was the other group.
George Singh said he caught the Maria Hernandez replay. I was working 2 blocks from there. Thank you,
Oh
George.
wow, where'd you work,
Appreciate it.
George? I mean, I worked as well 2 blocks away.
Yeah. 1989. Let us know where you work, George. And yeah, so that was a clip that we took from NYC Crime Spot of a conversation me and Frank had in 2023 of talking about Bushwick, basically talking about Frank's life in Bushwick. We didn't really talk about organized crime in that one. That's really not the angle for that. But I thought it was a cool conversation, and check it out on the channel now. It's about 20 minutes. Frank's talking about Bushwick memories, but also the 1989 death of Maria Hernandez, for which the park on Knickerbocker Avenue is named for today.
David Price says most Italians hate fascism because of Mussolini. I think most Italians hate to lose because when he was around, they didn't seem like they hated fascism. Matter of fact, I mean, if you go to places like Lazio, their soccer club, they're pretty gross. I mean, they do a lot of fascist salutes, and it's very powerful in that section. I'm pretty sure that's where he was from originally. Mussolini was, so that's like his soccer. Oh, that was his soccer team, one or the other, and it's stronger than ever in that part of the world, and in the north too. I mean, even in the 70s, fascism and the communists used to go against each other, all those terrorist groups. So I don't know if and the mob, you know, at a necessity would partner up with either one of them if they needed something. So it's a double-edged sword.
Yeah. I will say there's definitely like a lot of anti-fascists in Italy. When I was there in 2019, I always look at graffiti. I'm into it. Wherever I go, I'm looking at the graffiti.
Sure.
Definitely a lot of anti-fascist graffiti I noticed throughout my time in Italy in 2019. So there's a battle going on the walls, apparently. What's up, Corruption Connection, my man Tony? What's good, buddy? Vinny Chicken Color says, "Yo, Kujin, do you know Anthony? What is that? Chacha Schiaccia? Chacha?
I know him. Yeah,
Can you pronounce that name for me, please,
Shiaka.
correctly?
Shiaka.
Shiaka. Okay, Shiaka. Okay.
What does
Sounds
it
like
say? Lefty.
sounds like a
Frank, you have
curse
a
word.
Lefty asks good questions. Which one he's got on the 729 there?
I'm a little behind here. Let me
Oh,
see.
my bad.
If you could see it, read it.
Frank, you ever misjudge someone completely and have them surprise you and make you think someone was a lot more clever or smart than you gave them credit for? Yeah, that in life in general. I mean, I might give that order out to people too. What a dumbass Frank is, you know. But yeah, of course.
So George says he worked on flushing between Porter and Knickerbocker.
Yeah, crack,
Porter
bro.
and crack everywhere.
Yeah.
Let's see. Who else? Frankie, is it called sauce or gravy?
Sauce all day, gravy.
Yeah, I would say it's sauce. I'm not Italian, but you know what? I would say it's sauce.
Yeah, great. Gravy is what you put on fucking Salisbury steaks.
Randy was a made man and been out of family. He died in 2019. Only reason why he's speaking about him. He said he met Joey M and a bunch of Philly guys at Joey's restaurant 10 years ago or so.
Oh wow. Okay.
Interesting, motherfucker. Interesting.
Yeah, there was a lot of bananas out in not a lot. There was quite a few bananas out in Florida, and they would come back. To Taglione moved out there. Copa, I think, would stay there sometimes. Come to think of it, I'm trying to think of who else. The Fury guy, he was out there too. So there's been a couple.
Chang Lang, I signed the petition to get Frank's voice in GTA 6.
What's GTA 6?
Grand Theft Auto, the video game. You know,
oh, great.
The voices. Yeah.
Let's do it.
What's good, Dan Tundes? What's good, fellas? I heard of the show from the. Oh, that's awesome. Thank you, Jeff, for letting people know what's going on. Appreciate that. Thank you, Dan. Appreciate you being here. 105 people. Thanks for hanging out tonight. Rob Bustillo. Frank, any run-ins with Paolo LaDuca of the Lucchese's?
Paolo LaDuca, no. The only LaDuca I knew was the guy who was a catcher for the Mets. Remember him?
Paul LaDuca. Yeah.
Yeah, this is his cousin Paolo. Maybe, who knows?
The great Paul LaDuca.
Yeah.
Had a couple of good seasons. 06.
He did.
06? Was he there in 06? Pretty sure.
Yeah, he was a little star. He had a couple good seasons. You're right.
Yeah, I like Paul
Frank,
LaDuca.
were you also
he does
around?
Horse racing. He does. He had a column in the Daily News forever. I think the Daily News.
Was that him, the LaDuca from the Mets?
LaDuca from the Mets, yeah, same one.
I didn't know that was him. I read the article, I didn't know
that's him. That's him. Yeah, big into the horses, like our man. But first, coffee. Mr. Al James Buccellato's here. Hello, sir. How are you,
Mr. James? What's up?
Can you hear me?
Yes, sir. How are you?
I'm well. How are you guys?
Good. Nice for you to stop by.
Yeah, I was just in the middle of some stuff. I had your guys on my phone, so I heard the whole episode so far, but I was in the middle of some things. So,
did you pick up anything worth addressing? I mean,
just some I texted Frank some resale furniture that was for sale in the neighborhood. So, some
nice.
for outside when it finally gets nice, I'll have some patio furniture.
Oh yeah, a little Facebook Marketplace action.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. Exactly. So
yeah,
not terribly
that's
excited.
the best. That's the best spot. I'm in there. I'm on there all the time looking for stuff.
Yeah. So, but I'm doing well. Thanks, guys.
I don't know if you guys get it. Whatever happened to the Seattle Mafia? Was there a big Seattle Mafia?
No. What they are is a bunch of fucking like the one guy hangs out with all these American kids like from the UFC gym out in Kirkland. Frank Culicaccio, whatever the fuck his name was.
Is that right?
Yeah, and then we used to run fucking hookers and
strip clubs
from Vancouver all the way back to Seattle and back and forth. They worked around the Kirkland Bellevue area, which I'm familiar with.
So that's the Mafia, or
yeah, we go into a place that go, the guy Frank, he's with the mob, and then it's like a couple of just stupid white bread, fucking. Guys who used to work at Microsoft that fucking went to buy a couple of suits and act out the parts. But the dad was a pretty much connected guy back in the day. He had a lot of vending spots. The dad he died in his 90s, I believe, not too long ago. But no, they weren't recognized.
Yeah, I don't even think the old man was made or anything. But people knew who he was. But I don't think he was.
Oh no! Don't get me wrong. In the neighborhood, people talk about them all the time.
Yeah.
But it's kind of like they put their own little Hollywood twist to it. You know what I mean? And I just ignore it, like I don't know what they're talking about.
Drumcappella, what's up, buddy? Thanks for joining. Brooklyn's own Drumcappella.
Well, Capella. Oh wow, Capella has a great story. He talks about he's very he was friends with the guy Aldo, who actually got in a tussle with I got some static here with Sammy, the guy who got in, and then eventually they went to look for Aldo. And
with the Kaiser thing.
They ended up killing the one kid, the 16-year-old kid. the Kaiser kid. So yeah, you want to come up, dude?
Well, that's a good question for you, James, because we were talking about that before. We were talking about the Italian American Civil Rights League now going after Sammy the Bull. What's your opinion on that? If you don't mind sharing.
Yeah, I heard you guys talking about it. I don't know like the people that are involved in that really. I can't help but be a bit cynical, just because of the whole Joe Colombo, think that
Sure,
that was a really like insincere, kind of for show. I don't think, I'm not sure how sincere they were in terms of being concerned about stereotypes and civil rights for Italian Americans. So, um, I wouldn't be surprised if this is just someone who has a problem with Gravano that's behind it, but I'm totally speculating. I don't have any insight. I mean, like inside information, but I mean, I don't want to get like too like political or social here, but usually the idea is like, so if you're upset about stereotyping Italian Americans, the point would be that Italian Americans are somehow suffering because of this or being discriminated because of this. And I just don't see any evidence, like empirical evidence. I mean, Italian Americans are for all intent and purpose like considered white people now. And that doesn't mean you should say offensive things about Italians, obviously, that because that's just a mean, stupid thing to do. But in terms of like some kind of like political movement or something, I'm not sure that Italian Americans are like a marginalized community,
Right.
Any longer. Maybe once upon a time, but that's just my take.
Yeah, and Frank, I know you said Gerard Moroni from the neighborhood, and he knows another guy who happens to be in law enforcement. So I picture there's a game of telephone going on, and there is definitely some people whispering in ears to bring this up. Not that we have to say names or anything, but it's definitely. And then what is this thing, Roger Stone? What is that about? That's bizarre. Is he the Italian American Civil Rights League guy now?
Is he part of this? Is he part of that?
I'm pretty sure, right? Frank, did you catch that?
No, I didn't even pay attention because I just think it's ridiculous anyway. There's other points of interest you could go after. That's injustices with Italian people in this country, like the Italian people treating their own people like shit when they come here and make them work below minimum wage. Or I don't think it's a thing like it used to be, but it does exist. Go after that. You want to go after. What are you going to tell me that fucking Sammy is who Sammy? Yeah, who knows better than I know. Man, for 2 years, I know another type of character. Say it's personal. Don't hide behind the Italian American League. Because it. I mean, you're a lawyer. You're a smart guy, Gerard. I know you. You're not dumb. You could go around it the other way and not go that way without. Go after him all you want, but don't use that we're a bunch of people. We're fed up with these people making us look bad. You could go after a lot of groups in there, right? You could throw a rock and put that argument right where you're standing. So whatever. Whatever. And I like Dry. Don't get me wrong. He's definitely, if I had to pick two people in this world, him or the Sammy, it's Gerard all day. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Gerard's not a bad guy.
So yeah, Stone's name came up recently in reference to all this, but I see this article here talking about how in 2023, political strategist Roger Stone spearheaded the revival of the IACRL, believing that a strong advocacy group with public prominence was needed to fight against the onslaught of anti-Italian attacks related to traditions, culture, religion. So yeah, he's managed to squeeze himself in over there.
Yeah, I mean, I know who he is. I don't know what his angle is here, but I mean, it's an interesting discussion. I mean, from a sociological perspective, I mean, I have relatives that are, they don't like, like me, like repping a Godfather poster in the back. They think that it's, it's all bullshit and it's all made up and it just gives Italian Americans a bad name. But then I know some like younger people. I'm, as a professor, I have students who are 18, 19, 20, 21 years old with Italian American last names, and they don't even know what the mafia is. They literally it's sort of like there's no mystique or stereotypes or anything. They don't even know what we're talking about. So, I've always felt like we should be honest about, this is history. And this is pop art. I mean, The Godfather's not, I mean, I do have an Al Capone poster up here.
Yeah.
That's because somebody gave it to me, and I think the aesthetic of it for doing a podcast, it just looks like
it's an iconic photo. I mean, it's a historical
right.
photo.
So I mean, he's not even Sicilian, Al Capone. So I don't have any I'm not trying to glorify him or anything. It's just for for aesthetic purposes. But I mean, I think as long as you're tactful and you're honest about it, it is history. I mean, if you're going to start saying, oh, all these blankety blank greaseballs or whatever are all criminals, well, then we're going to have that's that's not polite. It's not true. It's uncalled for to talk like that. But I'm not. I mean, I've never been confronted with that myself. Nothing like that ugly. I mean, I've met some people over the years when they find out I'm Sicilian, maybe, older waspy people who are like, oh, geez, oh boy. Like,
yeah, no, I get it.
You just became a minority, right?
Right.
Yeah.
So, and then I tell them, well, I'm well educated, and then it's like, oh, so you're one of the good ones, okay? Well,
yeah.
So I'm not completely naive about it, but in terms of really vulgar anti-Italian American prejudice, I've never experienced it.
It's like that shit African Americans go through when some white person goes, my best friend's black. You know what I mean?
Okay.
Right. Yeah.
Same shit. I just laugh when I hear something like that. And if it's a black person around, they laugh with me. I'm like, bro, I don't know.
Yeah.
Matt, our buddy Matt's in the chat. Roro's finally here. Roro, what's going on? How are you?
Roro, where you been? We were worried.
Casperosa showed up. He had something to say.
No shit.
Hey, what's up, man? About the telephone going on. All right. Yeah. Well, we'll see what happens. But I mean, you could, if they want to be super active, I mean, they could do that every couple of years if they wanted to. All the shows, everything that comes out. But people don't like Sammy Gravano, so it is what it is. Timothy O'Reilly says, how strong is Cosa Nostra in Eastern Sicily, Catania, Messina?
That would be a question for James. I mean,
traditionally that I mean they have a presence there, but traditionally that's that side of the island is weaker for Cosa Nostra. They've not had the same issues that the other side of the island has had with corruption and violence and things like that. So, I mean, there's definitely some clans there, but they're more low key and have never kind of penetrated the civil society and politics like they have on the other side of the island.
You guys, hey, OG Mike, what's up, buddy? Do you guys know who this is? Nate Boone Craft.
He's a Detroit guy.
Okay.
I know they're talking about. He's a prolific hitman.
Okay.
Oh, was he the one that wanted to kill the little guy? What's his name? The young kid. Then he got in trouble. White boy Rick.
I'm not sure. Maybe I don't know a lot about Nate Boone Craft. I've never met him. I know people that have met him, but he was pretty violent guy, and I think he was affiliated with. People can check me in the chat if they know, but maybe was he with Best Friends? That was a black organized crime group in Detroit back in the day. They were really violent. Called Best Friends. I think he was affiliated with them, but maybe somebody can fact check me on that.
Cool.
He has a lot of bodies, apparently.
You guys see, I don't know if you follow, you guys see ASAP Rocky turning down 180 days to take a trial, that shooting? I don't know if you guys are following any of that stuff. I found that pretty interesting, though. Gave him 180 days. He said, no, we'll take it to trial for a shooting. Kind of crazy.
Well,
kind of crazy.
If you have a good alibi and
I guess, but
if somebody's offering that just 180 days and it depends how strong alibi. Yeah, you fuck, and then you go for a lawsuit after that. If you didn't do it, I mean, why you all get it off for 180 days for a fucking shooting anyway? I mean, there's something wrong with that if you ask me.
Maybe because it is that maybe they just really don't have anything. I don't know. Yeah. Oh, there's someone else here. Let's see what this gentleman has to say. Sally Pepiche. Sally, what's going on? How are you? Nice glasses.
No, it's drum, man. It's drum.
Oh,
Hey, Drum.
oh, Drumcappella.
I,
Okay,
I came
listen.
on to Sally Peppish. Sally Peppish.
Ah,
Sally Papiche. What's up, Drum?
Yeah.
Have you
No,
met
no.
Tino?
The story I told you, Frank, it's very simple. It's. I just don't understand how. I just left my friend's restaurant in downtown Brooklyn, so it's a little noisy. But yeah, I don't understand how, like, the family and other people didn't know what happened, because everyone in the neighborhood knew. I mean, it was well talked about. It's like, I don't understand all this mystery. They found out when Sammy got locked up, and they found out he did it or whatever. It's not true. It's not. His
it's the
story
Alan
about the
Kaiser
club.
murder, right?
Well,
So
let's go over
Aldo,
it again. I've heard this story, but James probably haven't, and a lot of people
yeah.
have.
So in short, Aldo was a neighborhood maniac. He was just wasn't mob affiliated. He wasn't somebody. I think James Proctor did a thing that he was a King's Highway boy, and I can tell you for sure that he wasn't, because I was in an early inception of that, with Pat and Albie. So he was not. He was almost akin to someone with dementia. Seriously, he was punch drunk. He was a boxer. He got hit in the head with bats, so he was like a little out of it. You know what I mean? He wasn't definitely all there. So he used to ride around in this little motorcycle, little Honda. It looked like a monkey humping a football.
Oh, the
He was
bear
like
in the
this big
circus helmet.
yeah, big lumbering guy, and he wasn't part of a biker gang. He didn't go into Sammy's club and try to rob it with a biker. Ridiculous bullshit. His brother was my singer for my band when I played the drums, so I could tell you firsthand that had no affiliation with any of that. He was just a nut job. So when this happened, the story that Benny always told me, and I heard from the neighborhood, his brother Benny, who's his brother, not some stranger. You know what I mean?
Right.
Told me that he was coming out of the building right next to the pizzeria, and a car pulled up and shot at him. And the kid had stopped to say hello to Aldo, and then got hit. That's what I always heard.
Right.
That's the story, simple and
I think
short.
this would
And
initiate it.
Aldo ran away with buckshot down the block. He ran away with buckshot in his back. He hid out in his house for like 2 months. And then he started seeing an exorcist priest because he thought he was possessed by demons. And his brother wouldn't let me in the house because he was said, "Yo, he's out of control. He's talking to himself. He's punching holes in the wall." So I was never allowed in the house after that. Tina, his mother, was like, "No, Joey, don't come in. Don't come in." So that's it. That's the story, short and sweet.
But what
Now
initiated
I
it?
don't. Oh,
I
so
mean,
okay. The initiation was the story that
yes.
Benny told me was uh, Aldo was bar backing at Tally's. That's the story. And Aldo was a boxer, and Sammy was an aspiring boxer, and they got into a little tussle. Sammy, they were kind of play fighting, and it got serious. And Aldo knocked him down, is what I heard. Aldo knocked him down in front of his friends, and Sammy got really irate. So Aldo goes, "Oh, I'm not going back in. This guy's going to be on me." He goes, I guess there were words exchanged, and after that, Aldo was scared shitless. So he was dodging tallies. He wasn't going back there anymore, is what Benny said, and he was afraid the guy was going to come after him, and he did. So
Yeah,
that's
and
it.
the rest was
Short
history.
story.
Yeah.
There was no robberies. Aldo was not. If you knew this guy, you would know what I'm talking about. There was nothing that clever.
There you go. There
But
you go.
but when he goes to find it, when Kaiser does get hit, that is the guy Aldo that goes running. That's actually there though.
Yes,
Okay,
yes.
just want to make
It
sure.
was for Aldo. It was for Aldo. They
All right.
were coming after Aldo.
Okay.
It was very. Benny said the guy's very vindictive. I didn't know who Sammy was. I didn't know anything about that. But he said this guy's very vindictive and he wants to kill my brother. And that was it. He goes, my brother got into a little tussle with him. He
Yeah.
told my brother, I'm gonna get you or kill you or whatever. I don't know what the story there was. I can't be exact. I'm not gonna speculate and sound like an asshole. But that's the story I heard from the horse's mouth. And this is his brother. So he knew what was going on as far as the mental illness went. Everybody knew. Aldo and a guy by the name of Jojo DeCauley, they were about the same size. They used to get into knockdown brawls all over Kings Highway. One would bite the other one's face, hit each other with garbage cans. They were just lunatics from the neighborhood. They were not gangsters. They weren't affiliated with anybody. And these people are trying to sensationalize it like he was some I was a Kings Highway boy. He was a bubble. No, he wasn't. He lived off of Kings Highway on my block, but he wasn't a Kings Highway boy.
Right. So your story is obviously opposite of what Sammy's saying, where there's like this motorcycle guy comes in the bar and there's this whole crazy thing. So you're saying something opposite of that, which I believe what you're saying. Now, as far as Kaiser being shot, what's the story that you're told on the street about that? Because Sammy obviously has his own version of that.
The story about that was the kid was walking home from a party or wherever he was coming from, and he stopped to say hi to Aldo. And he was talking to Aldo on the corner when they pulled up and shot at Aldo. There was no mistaken identity. They shot at Aldo and hit the kid. That's what I heard.
Wow.
And it was known about the neighborhood at the time, which I don't understand why. Joy knows me. She knows if I told Joy who I am, she knows me.
Right.
She knows my sister. She knows my brother. My father sat on a box in front of the flower shop, taking bets. So she knows who I am. You know.
Yeah. No doubt. Yeah. That happens a lot in some cases. There's a lot of cases, like even in my own neighborhood, where things were cut and dry, and nobody ever got picked up for it.
Yeah, but that's what baffles me. Like, her father was a cop. All this stuff, everybody pretty much knew. The story went around. Benny was telling everybody, and everybody kind of knew exactly what happened. I just don't understand where this got legs all these years later about these stories about he was in his club and the guy tried to rob him. Aldo was trying to rob you? I don't think so.
I heard different.
I don't
My version was the one. Not. I'm not differentiating from yours. The version I heard first was from his book, and obviously, it sounds like it's starting to get a little twisted. I believe your version 100%, but it is book.
Now listen. You talk about Larry. You talk about Larry Persico. Okay, so if Larry Persico, I don't know if he listens to your show, but if he's here, Larry brought me to the circus with my father's best friend's daughter. We lived next door to each other, and my father's best friend's daughter dated Larry for a long time. So Larry, if you're listening, Elizabeth, you brought me to the circus when I was a kid. So I'll tell you that now. Now that being said, you know how you say certain things about certain people? You say they're a little like children, some little feeble at times.
Yeah.
Like, that was Aldo. Imagine a little kid in a grown monkey's body, like that. That was Aldo. It was like literally like a toddler. His brain was like a toddler. Didn't have the capacity to do what Sammy said he did. Go into a club with a bunch of bikers. He was no biker. You had to see this bike he had. It was like falling apart. It was like a Honda.
No, I got
you know, with the little gas tank. Yeah.
Yeah, I hear you.
So it's like I hear these stories and I go, what does this mean? Where did they get this from?
What'd you hear, James?
But like I said,
situation.
Well, I mean, only from Sammy's side of it. I mean, I don't even really know.
That's believable.
Yeah, I mean, so I don't. Other than that, I had really no thoughts on it. I mean, everything. I suppose you have to take it with a grain of salt. Sammy usually has an agenda. I don't know him personally, but he usually has.
He doesn't want to sound like James. He don't want to sound like a scumbag saying that he killed a kid.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right. But what else is going on?
Nothing. I just left my friend's restaurant in downtown Brooklyn, which you probably been to. I just had dinner and I had to pick up some equipment, and I'm gonna go home. And that's it. Uneventful life, Frank. Uneventful.
I gotcha. It seems like that same here tonight. How many people we got?
It's just me.
No, on the chat.
No. Yeah, that's what I mean. No, I'm only kidding.
I think your mic's off. Brett.
My mic was off. You're right.
Yeah.
Right. So everybody.
So that's like I said, because I was so close with Benny's family and Aldo's family. Like that's what we always heard, and other people from the neighborhood, not just them. And so, I mean, Benny told everybody the story. Now, could Benny be not telling the truth? Maybe, but what I know about Aldo is that whole story about the club and him being a KHB and all that. No, that's not definitely not 100% not.
Chris says, Frank, are you related to any Giordanos in the Massachusetts area? Not that I know of. I met a Giordano of Hell's Angels when I was back in Population. His name was Mike Giordano, but that was a long time ago. Not related though. But
And Frank, by the way, incidentally, if there's any, because I know there was a few KHBs I saw in here like in the past. I know they could validate that Aldo was never a Kings Highway boy, like James Proctor said.
no, I believe.
He'll validate that.
No, I take your story. I take your story as gospel with my history with you because you always came up with that. So
Frank, listen, I'm going to say this, and not to, I hate talking ill about the dead, but he was a big dummy.
Well,
Aldo was a big, overgrown dummy. He was moronic.
no, I get it. He fancies his story up. Sammy did. He said he ran into these bikers and they broke his arm or his leg or what the fuck it was. And and then I hear your story and I was like, okay, that makes sense.
Listen,
Listen,
Sammy talking about this
he
in his
did.
new documentary. Is that why it's resurfaced? This old story?
No, not to take away. His book is pretty good book if you ever read the book. So people discussing that book, and that was a part of that people always were interested in. And the Island incident comes up a lot because there's a lot of people that are offended, and rightfully so. He wasn't a mobster, the kid. If you want to talk about victim impact and all that stuff, that's an individual that needs to be addressed. Alan Kaiser, a lot of innocent people were victims of the mob, and they need to be addressed. But it's a rightful
Frank,
cause.
for all intents and purposes, with that being said, did he hurt Sammy? From what I understand, yes, he did, and that's what Sammy was pissed off about. So, could he have broken Sammy's leg or hurt Sammy's arm? Possibly. I can't tell you. Listen, I was a kid.
Sure.
I was, 15, 16. I don't know what I was. I was around that age group. You know what I mean?
I have to remember
So,
shit.
yeah,
15,
no, but it was,
everything.
yeah, I was probably as old as Alan, maybe a little older. Maybe I was a little older, maybe 17, 18. I can't remember when it happened exactly, but I wasn't there when it happened. I lived there, but I was always hanging out somewhere else. I was doing music and martial arts. I never really worked. I never hung out in the neighborhood like that, much. My friends were all in like South Brooklyn and Marine Park. So the people I knew in the neighborhood on Bath Avenue and on, Cropsey and all that, those are the people. If I hung out in the neighborhood, that's where I was most of the time. And when I was younger, I was on Kings Highway with Patton Alden. That was my childhood. That's it. Sweet. I was never in the mob. My father was a low level bookmaker. There's nothing extreme.
You
But
grew up
I
in
was
the
in the
neighborhood.
neighborhood, and my life is affiliated with a lot of stories that were directly affiliated with my father and stuff, and people that were in my house and I knew. Like I did a video. I wanted to send it to Brett, but I just did a thing where I was showing where I lived, and I'd walk around the block and show Phyllis Birdie's house right around the corner. She was my neighbor. And then I showed, Pat and Albie's house and this kid Peter the Boner that went missing. I just did a little neighborhood walk the other day, and I meant to send it to Brett, but I can't remember his email.
Yeah, if you ever want to do one of those, Drum, if you ever want to, because people like stuff like that when you walk through a neighborhood and you talk about the neighborhood where the guy grew up there. I've seen other creators do that. I've been trying to set people up to do that. Some people, they're pretty flaky. So if you ever really wanted to do something, let me know. We'll film it. We'll put it out there. It's up to you, though.
Yeah, I will. And listen, the thing is, I hear all this stuff, and because I knew these people directly, like Phyllis was my neighbor, George was a friend of the family. So father had a club on by John's Deli on Stowell Avenue. And the thing is, I knew all these people, and I hear these stories about this beauty named Phyllis. She was gorgeous, and Tommy Karate's girlfriend was beautiful,
Right.
and Phyllis gave her drugs. Phyllis was a low level pot dealer, and she was not beautiful. I don't know where these things. I don't know where they get this shit from.
Dead.
Hey, did you know that
Yeah,
other
no.
one, Drum? Did you know Judy Hamowitz by any chance?
No, where was she?
She was another a woman who was involved with drugs with the Patera crew.
No, but Stacy Moskowitz, who did a story about the son of Sam. Stacy
Right.
Moskowitz's mom used to babysit me. She lived on my grandmother's block.
Oh, is that right? Wow. Yeah.
Yeah, East 2nd Street, between Kings Highway and Woodside Avenue.
Yeah.
Right in back of my grandmother lived right in back of I don't know if you remember Caleros, Frank.
No, I'm not. I'm not too. I'm familiar with like the really popular places out in Bensonhurst. I used to go. I think I used to go to Bensonhurst only when we used to go see family out there. I had an uncle live there who ended up moving up to Staten Island, and obviously I had the Calabros that lived there. We used to go visit them. and an aunt of Dino as well. She's no longer with us as well. Like, and my mom, they were close, and we used to go maybe at tops 4 times a year, maybe some not even that much, 3 times a year. We used to go there. They used to come by us. We were close with them, But I got a
I
question.
know I know Dino and them knew my friend Frankie on 20th Avenue. I definitely know they knew them. But
Mm.
I listen. Here's a funny thing. Like so many people that I knew, and this is what attracted me to this genre is that a lot of the people I knew started showing up on these shows, like their pictures, and I'm like, oh my god, I didn't know he did that. You know,
Yeah.
these are like people that were directly in my house and stuff, in my uncle's house and my cousin's house. My block had more wise guys per capita than probably most in neighborhoods. You know,
Yeah.
Right.
that's why
Jake,
That's why Danny Trio had me fooled.
we
Because
were
I went
just
on
talking
Lee's
about
one
that
time and I was
earlier.
talking to Danny Trio because Danny Trio mentioned the mansion and I used to shovel snow. He said he lived in the mansion, it was his big house on Quentin Road. And so I'm like, oh, okay, I think I might have seen him, remember seeing him. Then he started naming, I said, who did you know on the block? And he started naming the names of people that I know, and he named by name my father and my mother.
Oh wow.
Danny Trio did.
That's how we had me fooled. I'm like,
Did he
okay,
fool
wait a
you,
minute,
James?
Yeah, I know who you're talking. I know. I mean, I know
Danny
who.
Trio, the guy who says you're so dumb you couldn't fuck a dead horse or something
Yeah.
like that.
Yeah, I know. He was.
Like that's a thing, You gotta be
Yeah.
smart to fuck a dead horse.
Well, what do you guys? Let me ask you, since we're talking about Sammy's book, what do you guys make of the part in Sammy's book where he says that I'm interested in the Sicilians when he says that he told Manny Gambino, the Cherry Hill Gambino, like told him to go fuck himself. They had some kind of beef, and he told Manny, I told Manny I don't give a fuck who your uncle is, referring to like Carlo. Does that strike you as that Gravano would talk to them like that?
Yeah. Anger, he'll say something stupid like that. With my experience with him,
Okay.
and then regret it, and then lie about he didn't. He's old school. He doesn't. He'll never commit. Like if he goes to like a sit down or whatever, he's had those outbursts. He has them. He does. That's true. He's done that with the Bono in front of Castellano.
Yeah.
I believe that because I've seen him outburst out of his league, saying stupid stuff and then go back a little bit. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. That's interesting.
I really believe him denying knowing you, Frank, is a direct result of his mind going a little bit.
Oh,
Nah,
that's
he
right.
knows
He's
the
done that a
fuck.
couple times,
Yeah,
right?
yeah. I
Yeah.
was with him in 2 fucking places. I hooked him up with the guy who did his tattoos. At one point, we were the only Italians in the place. It's just that what happened between us was like he probably thought that after I got out of jail, I was gonna keep contact with him while he was in there, and I didn't, and it was like good riddance. Just got away from this fucking guy. I'm gonna fucking keep talking to him. And I think that's what it is. So his point is now, look, well, I'm doing good. What is he gonna come look for me now? Well, I don't know him. Like, that's what it is. I think now if he could come,
Or that, or he thinks your name is Frank Fiordolinioni.
Frank
yeah,
Frank
Fiordolinioni.
Fitellini. Frank
Yeah, yeah,
Fitellini.
yeah. Calamandria.
I'm gonna
Never
go
heard of him.
reach out for a guy who came out of jail in 5 years with the life. He got the best deal of a lifetime, and just to fuck it up again, to start an ecstasy ring. I'm gonna go hook up with him after fucking one way or another to just get. I'm looking to fucking start a new life. I'm gonna go fucking
Yeah.
reach out to Sammy the Bull now.
Well, yeah.
Listen, you got a second chance, Frank. Why would you want to? Why would you want to throw it away?
Yeah,
You know what
exactly.
I mean?
No, but that's what happened. He gave me his number. I threw it in the fucking garbage.
Nobody is friends with
Well,
Sammy.
listen.
You're on Sammy's team. You're not actually his friend. So
Well, listen, fellas. It's nice chopping it up. I have to run, but Brett, I told Ro, get my number from Ro, and contact me. I also have a bunch of music that I wrote and recorded that you're welcome to use for your theme if you want.
oh, definitely. Because I'm having a problem with that recently.
Yeah,
By the
it's
way,
free of charge. I have all styles that I
that would be
record.
awesome. Yeah.
Or I could write and record you something brand new if you want.
Hell yeah, that'll be awesome. Yeah, I'm having issues with that lately because I get these copyright free stuff from editing programs, and then the editing program will lose like a license, and then all of a sudden, My old videos will get
No,
demonetized because somebody claims it. It's like a fucking mess on YouTube. It's
no,
really
no. The only thing that'll happen is what I'll do is I'll give you this site to go to, and I'll give you all the
Yeah.
information to put in because I am with BMI. So
Oh, you
all
are?
you have to
Okay.
do is put the information. Yeah, you put the
Oh,
information in, and I grant you permission, and then they won't bother you.
that'll be awesome. Yeah, I'm gonna get your number from Ro. I'm gonna hit you up this week if you don't mind.
You got it.
Okay, Sally Peps.
Yeah, Billy Peppers. You know who Sally Peppers is, right? It's the guy that Tony Pizza had on his show that said that he said that Joe Biggs was the real Batman.
Is that the guy? Did that guy say he was locked up with Pete the Pick? Is that same guy? Or
No,
no?
I heard he was a crackhead that lived in the hotel next door to
Oh, I'm thinking of
Validated
somebody
Pizza.
else. All right, maybe I'm thinking of someone else. I think it was him though. But all right, Drum. Thanks for
All
stopping
right,
by.
John.
Bro,
Thank
yeah,
you.
take it easy, fellas. Thanks.
Bye-bye.
Bye. Yeah, I think that guy said he was locked up with Pete the Pick, if I'm not mistaken. I don't know.
Somebody asked about, I think it was Chris, talking about Sammy getting sleeves in jail. Yeah, he got all those tattoos in jail. When he comes to meet me in Minnesota, I was taking some bets out in the jail. Yeah, learning my lesson, you know. So I was taking some bets, and I had a whole bunch of stamps at the time. That's what we use as currency in jail. So he goes, "Where'd you get to work?" You know, I said, "I got from the kid up there." He goes, "Because I got some tattoos done." So he goes, "Oh, well, let me go talk to him." I said, "Look, he owes me some money still, like $10, $15. Go ahead, go get yourself something done. Don't worry about it. I got it. Don't worry about it." "You sure?" I said, "Bro, just go over there and get it done." This is the guy who don't know me.
Yeah.
He goes, "Okay." He just starts fucking problems all the time. He goes up there, he goes, "Man, you should get your money back." I go, "Why?" He goes, "Because he doesn't do good work. I know another guy that does work over there. I want it for," so he's already starting trouble in this place he's freshly new at. I go, "Don't worry about it. He'll credit me. I'll get my stuff done. You want to go? The other guy got some more books. Go over there, go get it done." "Yeah, but you got to get your money back from him first." He probably didn't like the way his conversation with the guy went.
Right.
That he already starting fucking, conquer and divide. That's his fucking nature. That's what he does. And I'm like, "Bro, don't worry about me. Go fucking do what you got to do. I'll do what I got to do. Not only am I doing you a fucking favor, you want to fucking cause problems too."
Right.
You know, I mean, it got aggravating. You know that's the type of shit you dealt with on a daily.
Have you guys watched that special that he has out? I haven't watched.
No.
I'm not really interested, to be honest.
The ecstasy thing?
Right. Yeah.
Yeah, no, I haven't seen it. I did see something where he was being interviewed. He was with Sean Atwood and his son. I think they were sitting down discussing it. And the one thing that surprised me, maybe because I don't know a lot about the case, or Sammy being Sammy making things up, he goes, I wasn't involved with it at all, kind of. He said, "Oh, I just gave Gerard a little bit of money, and I said, hey, go make this one deal or something, and then you got to get out of it or whatever." And that's, according to Sammy, his connection to the scheme. I don't know how true that is. That's what he said.
Yeah, I mean that's
I don't
not
know.
the way. I'm not greatly familiar with it, but that's not the way that I understood it. But I mean the way that the things that I've heard were from federal law enforcement. So I guess pick your whose agenda you want to.
Yeah.
But my understanding is he was pretty deep into it.
Yeah, and I could be wrong, but I'm pretty sure that's what he said, that he really downplayed. But I didn't see the documentary. I just saw his conversation. Crispin, we're talking about Cherry Hill guys with Sammy, I think. Mike Eaney says it wasn't good. Jeff Nadeau seemingly liked it. So we're split.
Gerard does come up very likable. He does. His son, Gerard.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's on tape saying he wants a quarter for every dollar somebody makes. That was on the fucking, I think a wiretap or something, or a 302. It was a wiretap because obviously it was his voice. So he moves the goalpost all the fucking time. It's just the way that's who he is, Yeah. But whatever. But I'm done talking about it. It just fucking aggravates the shit out of me.
Yeah, he comes up a lot. Well, we'll have to wait to the FX show to come out.
And I'm pretty sure it shows for people who like that kind of stuff. you know, I sound like OC Shorts. If you like that kind of stuff, hit the like button. But no, I mean, yeah, it's he's got good content if you like that. You know, he talks about murders, he talks about how they went down, how they addressed it, how they how they structured the hits. If you like that, he that's why he is who he is on the. He got all them subs.
That's why he's the Don of social media, as he says. Just Jeff says his code name was Shorty Whip Wop. Is that true? Is that a little?
It's going Shorty Whip Wop.
DL says I thought it was a good show. It did. They tried to make Gerard look good. Yeah, I don't know.
Let me ask you something, Brett. I was looking at your channel and I haven't watched it yet. So full disclosure, I haven't watched it yet. But you have the episode on the Amityville murders.
Oh yeah.
And I look forward to watching that. Do you acknowledge in the video, and I will watch it, but did you acknowledge like some of the mob stuff allegedly part of the story?
With Pete DeFeo, right?
Yeah, but on the other side too, the mother's side, the father was supposed to be connected.
the what's his name, with the auto dealership,
yes,
right?
Yeah.
So the thing with that was I don't know if that was, I think that was a collaboration with my friend Manny, he does a lot of Son of Sam stuff. So if I gotta remember correctly, I think I just kind of went along with him with it because he wanted to go check it out. That was one where we went to the Amityville, and we also it was Ray DeMayo's house on Whitewood Drive in Massapequa, which was a funny event in itself. So I did mention some of that on our walk, but I didn't get too deep into it. But as far as the father, I don't know. Have you ever found anything? Because I tried to find a real mob connection with him, but I had trouble.
Yeah, there's a book that I started reading by an author, Rick Osuna, and we know the DeFeo stuff is true. About he was a member of the Genovese family, the uncle, right? That's pretty well documented. But it does seem like the mother's father, that he was a kind of a sketch guy who was connected. But in this book, this book makes it sound like this guy was like a heavyweight with the Gambinos, and that the Gambinos were going to try to kill Butch DeFeo in prison. And some of that I find difficult to believe. So that's why I was curious what you guys, if you guys were familiar with any of those kind of theories.
Yeah, I don't think we went too deep into it, but I do know that when DeFeo, the son, was in prison, he started talking a lot about this mob stuff. I don't know if you've ever seen that. So I don't know, maybe could be a case of the author just taking everything he says as fact, and maybe kind of that's what it is.
Well, his best source for the book is Butch DeFeo's alleged like common law wife. Okay. And even that's controversial because some people don't accept that. Yeah. She has like one kind of New York State ID that seems to suggest that maybe she was married to him, but other than that, she doesn't have a lot of other like kind of primary documentation. And she's the one who really plays up this idea that like the maternal grandfather was like a big Gambino mobster. And the author sort of seems like just kind of taking her word for it. Yeah. And I don't know. I haven't finished the book because I started getting so skeptical that it started turning into like a mob book more than about the murders. And I was having a difficult time accepting it or believing it. So I was wondering what you guys.
Yeah, and this was the guy. I think he had a Buick dealership or something like that. Yeah. That DeFeo had also worked at, I guess, at one point.
That was the
Yeah, he was employing I think that's where the Butch's dad worked, was at his wife's. And it does seem like there was some sketch things going on there, probably money laundering, maybe moving stolen car parts and things like that. That I believe, it seems, because there were some newspaper articles that backed up some of that dealership was under investigation and things like that. But in terms of the Gambinos having any kind of interest in whacking Butch DeFeo because he knew too much.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. No,
I
that's
think he
crazy.
threw
Yeah.
shade on that. But I knew somebody who was in jail with him, actually an accomplice of mine on a very serious crime, and he was in jail with the fail, and he says he believed it full-heartedly that he had nothing to do with it. I'm like, well, he told you fucking the Brooklyn Bridge. I go,
Really?
yeah,
No,
yeah. He
wow.
was like, this guy is innocent, man. And I'm like, oh, I don't know about that, bro.
Wow.
Yeah. I don't
Well,
know.
we were talking about Sammy, but Butch DeFeo is another guy his story has changed. Like, well, he's deceased now, but his story changed like 1,000 times over the last whatever since the
You
murders
mean
happened.
Ronald DeFeo?
Ronald DeFeo, yeah.
Yeah. Well, he went by Butch. I'm just
Oh, he did. Okay.
yeah, yeah. But yeah, his
Yeah, him and the son of Sam. They stay in jail, and then they start fucking making shit up, and
yeah, that's
Right,
another good
right,
example.
get
Yeah,
out, But yeah,
right.
I'm surprised. I was gonna ask you that question when Drum was here. I said, we do a lot of New York stories that coexist with the years that I remember out on the street, and we talk about them. We've talked about the Howard Beach racial case. We talked about Bernard Getz. What else did we cover? The son of Sam. And do you follow some of the big New York cases of the past?
Yeah, I mean, I've watched those episodes that you talked about.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
but yeah, I wouldn't say I'm an expert on those cases, but I'm familiar with some of them.
Yeah. No, Brett's pretty good in covering them. I just remember him because one way or another, I knew what I was doing. Like the Howard Beach case, I went to school with a lot of those kids. In the Son of Sam case, there was a bartender that was victimized. He was in the car when he went up to the car and shot his girlfriend, his fiance. So one way or another, I try to like remember. Like Bernard Getz, I got no stock in that one, but it was one of my that I remember well. That was a great one.
Yeah, there was some interesting archival footage you guys found of that dude.
Yeah, it's like Woody Allen in the interrogation room.
Oh, you asked such an intellectual way. You asked the question.
Yeah, he was getting offended.
Yeah.
Simon, $10. Thank you, buddy. Much appreciated.
Simon, thank you, Simon. Thank you.
You said last time, James, because I spoke about a guy on my channel a couple of times, and I brought it up in an episode that we did for, I think it was 1982. Yuri Broken, who was like a Russian dissident author. I think you said last time did you do some work with like Russian are you good with that? The organized crime?
I mean, we did an episode on the Russian mafia. We had an author on who wrote a book about Douglas Sentry, who wrote a book about
Boris Nayfeld.
Yeah, Boris Nayfeld. Yeah. What's the name? I can't remember. It's the boss of Brighton or something like that.
Yeah, the last Don of Brighton Beach or something like that. Yeah.
So and then some of my training at the National Gang Crime Research Center was on the Russian mafia, but I just I'm not really good with the names. Some of those I don't speak Russian, so I'm not really good with those names. But so I'm sympathetic when people who aren't Italian say they try to read my book and they're like, I just can't keep up with all the Italian names. I'm sympathetic because when I read a book about the the Chinese triads or the Mexican drug cartels or Russian mafia, whatever, I can't keep up with the names either.
Yeah, that book actually helped me a lot when that came out, actually, because Boris Nayfeld says a lot of interesting things in there. So Yuri Broken, he was like this. He wrote a couple of books about sex and drugs and Russian Olympians. He was like a Russian dissident. He came here in the 70s. He was on what's that show? To Tell the Truth. When they have to guess who the person is, whatever. Good Morning America. He wrote a bunch of editorials, but secretly he was a criminal. He was doing a lot of criminal shit. He was with like Manya Elson, if you know him. They were doing shit together. And his wife mysteriously dies in 1981 under mysterious circumstances. 82, he gets murdered in his apartment in Manhattan. According to Nayfeld, it's this guy, Vladimir Reznikov, who actually murdered him, who actually is murdered by the Gemini twins, as far as what we know. Reznikov is center and tester. So, but yeah, that's a really interesting guy, kind of an underreported character, kind of like a celebrity, I guess, like one of those guys they parade around to talk about Russia and stuff. And just got whacked.
Yeah, are you going to do an episode about that?
I spoke about him a couple of times. I did a thing on Manya Elson on my channel that I spoke about a little bit. I did something separately on Vladimir Reznikov. FC Agron, I'll go to like Brighton Beach and film some of these locations. So I definitely have an interest in it. But yeah, I've spoken about it a little bit, but I would like to dig more into him. That's why I asked if you had
Yeah.
anything, if you've ever heard of him, because I find him to be pretty interesting.
Yeah, just other than and then I think isn't he mentioning there's another book by Friedman just called The Russian
Yeah.
Mafia.
Red Mafia, yeah.
Red Mafia, yeah. So
Yeah,
just
yeah.
other than those books.
It's funny because Red Mafia is like Elson's side of things. So then you have, thankfully, Century wrote that book. Then you got like Nayfeld's side of things, kind of like warring with each other in these books almost.
Yeah. And I don't think the Bonanos, like Frank, I mean, I don't think you probably didn't interact with any of those Russians. That seemed like those were mostly like Columbos and Lucchese's and maybe Genovese. I don't recall ever reading about any Bonanos like interacting with the Russians.
Not on our side of the borough. North Brooklyn, Bushwick, probably in the south, and they were more like the Bensonhurst, Bay Ridge area, Brighton Beach. So we didn't see many Russians. What we had where I was at, we had a lot of Albanians, Romanians, former Yugoslavia, Serbians. That we had that around my neck of the woods. But and we did interact one way or the other, be in their clubs, supporting them with machines or just whatever they were into. But not Russians. No, I don't remember many Russians.
Yeah, I'm interested as a researcher looking at these kind of underworld ecosystems where like Russians and Italians interact, or bikers and Italians interact, or whatever, or street gangs and cartels interact. So that's why I was, asking. But yeah, that's something I'm interested in.
Capisi did report a few years back about Elson apparently being lured to a place in the Bronx and they were going to murder him. Something to do maybe with I know Danny Pagano had something to do with it. I don't know if he's the one that squashed it, or do you recall this?
Yeah. I think he squashed it. I think that's my understanding, because he was worried that would like trigger a war. I just didn't think it was a smart move.
Yeah,
wow.
He's running around there somewhere. Manya, I'm coming for you. I know where you are. He's around.
I was always taught that the Russians in New York were a little bit more of not as violent as the ones back home, but that could be said for any organized group. They're
I don't know.
Wherever there's corruption in government or cops, you're more free to be more violent and do whatever you got to do than like in the States. But they were great with the pencil. They knew how to fuck you with the pen, and they're excellent at that. And think about it: if you could do that and do less time than be fucking somebody who has to go to violence to get your shit done, then who's the real winner at the end? You know what I mean? Is the white is the mob doing it right now? With what they're doing. I don't know what they're doing, but it's pretty much they're doing something if they're still existing, right? But it's not violence. And is there still violence there? Yeah, of course. For every 100 beating, you hear about 2 of them. Something's going on,
Yeah, they were violent though, the Russians in New York. I mean, and I'm going to ask you about.
I'm not.
No, I know. You're not saying that, but they definitely killed. I know there was the report. I don't know if it's the tri-state area report or a New Jersey report on Russian organized crime. There's like 60 something murders from like the 70s to the 90s, and like in the tri-state area, I think it's like in PA, New York. So they were definitely killing a lot of people. Yeah, they were killing each other mostly. But let me ask you something, James. As far as like people using, because I've gotten shit for this too, because there's these people that, whether they have a motive for it or I know what the motive is, but it's like, when I do these things, it's like, oh, they're not Russians, they're Jews. That's the thing that I always get, and many of them are. But how do you reconcile that?
Yeah, I mean, my understanding is a lot of the Russian mobsters were Jewish, and that was part of why they ended up in the United States. Is they were exiled. The United States would negotiate these things to let some as like basically political refugees. Mm-hmm. So yeah, that is my understanding. Now I think a lot of them, from my understanding, because they were raised in the Soviet Union, my understanding is they're pretty secular. They may be Jewish in a sort of ethnic sense, but not a religious sense, because they were raised in an atheist, an atheist society, or at least officially.
Kabasi too, believe it.
Yeah. So, but yeah, I mean, I suppose someone who's Russian, like Russian, might have some kind of ethnic, say, oh, they're not like real Russians or something. But yeah, I mean, I'm familiar with that, like, conversation.
Yeah, because I've been questioning. I'm like, all right, yeah, I know, but I find that there's another motive there. They say it in a certain way, but yeah, they came out of the Soviet. Yeah. It was the Soviet Jewry movement. Yeah, they were coming, and obviously the USSR. They were happy to unload all these murderers and former Gulag dudes. Like, yeah, go over there,
for sure.
Have some fun over there,
Yeah. But yeah, I know. Yeah, there were some murders, and in some cases, right, the Russians would ask the Italian guys that they knew to take out some of the guys that whatever kind of beefs they had internally. But yeah, I agree with Frank. A lot of these guys, the Russian guys, a lot of them were into, like, Medicare fraud, Medicaid fraud, and they were making like a shit ton of money. With the most recently, the fucking COVID, they were ripping people off. The what was it? The relief money, the relief fund, the COVID
loans or something.
Yeah. I talked to a guy that I know who's in the IRS, and he's part of the criminal investigation division of the IRS, and he was telling me it's pretty you can't believe it, that some of these Russian mobsters they go after for these, like, ripping off the COVID fund and things like that. They only go after, like, some of the guys that are stealing, like, tens of millions of dollars, because they don't have the resources to go after all of them. So most of them are getting away with it. If you, as long as you don't steal too much, you're gonna fly under the radar, because they don't have the resources. Because then these guys, as soon as they get a whiff that the feds are onto them, they go back to Russia. And once they're in Russia, good luck getting, Putin's not going to extradite anybody. So that's a real thing. I agree with Frank. That's a real thing now. Like,
they learned that's out of necessity. That, over the years through the communist from 1917 to about 1990. That's what he goes when they opened the floodgates. You couldn't even fucking find bolts on the fucking statues. They were selling them for scrap.
That's how they had to survive, was the hustle.
Yeah. So they got their religion kicked out of them by 1950, 1960. So was there really Jews and Christians out there? They had to go pray in private spots. There was ones that tried to keep the faith, and they used to have squads to go into these fucking houses, break it up, and beat the shit out of them so they won't do it again, and then throw you in the gulag too. So
yeah,
Russian Jew, what is it?
I agree, and that's something interesting. And shout out to Doug the Sentry. He was on when I was part of the OG podcast. He was on a couple of times. The Boris Mayfield book is interesting because they talk about how much, like, there was like a thriving underworld in the Soviet Union, which was kind of ironic because you're thinking this totalitarian society, but that's how people were surviving. To Frank's point, like, because it was people waiting in line for bread and toilet paper and shit like that. So the people that were hustling, that was a mode of survival. And so the ones that came over to the United States, they were already used to, maybe they weren't full-fledged gangsters, but they were used to stealing and breaking the law. And so, then that's when you get the kind of what we think of as the Russian mafia here in the United States.
Yeah. And it was very much, to their own people a lot of the times. Not even that those people were, like, joined in the organization, just like extorting, the neighborhood. They landed in Brighton Beach and Jersey and wherever else. And
and I asked one time, I go, who are the gangsters back in the Soviet Russia? The ex-KGB, they go, they're the ones who run the country now. They weren't it back then. They were the ones with money when nobody had it, and they're the ones with money now. They just took it to another level. That's your mobsters in Russia. And
well, who's the big guy? Mogilevich, right? Semyon Mogilevich.
He's
protected by those. I mean, there's no way he's not being protected by You
They
know,
got the good old boy system out in Russia too, just like they used to have in the South back in the day.
Yeah, those guys were a lot of when the Soviet Union fell and you had the rise of these oligarchs, they hired these KGB ex-KGB guys to be like private security.
yeah.
And then in some ways there's a parallel, maybe this is a stretch, but Frank, like like we look at like the origins of the mafia in Sicily, like a lot of them start off as the how would you pronounce it, like the campieri, the estate guards, right? Like the absentee feudal lords would hire these like tough Sicilian guys to like guard the estates, guard the property,
Sure.
and a lot of those guys end up being like the very first what we would think of as mafiosi.
Totally.
Taylor's got a question. If you guys asked any questions before, ask them again, please, because it's going to be tough for me to go back. Drumcappella, you have a show on Franny Lou. Are you talking about Francis Lewis Boulevard? Let me know, because I could definitely come to that. If that's what you're talking about. Taylor 999, he's got a question for you guys. Once again, the questions from before that I missed, you just ask them again, ladies and gentlemen. He says, Joe Bonanno said Buffalo kidnappers took him to Texas. While the kidnapping was probably a lie, did Joe Bonanno actually go to Texas during that time? Do you have any insight or opinion?
My understanding from his actual family is that he was in New York, hiding in plain sight. He might have bounced around a bit, but like my understanding is he spent a considerable amount of time in New York, basically hiding in plain sight.
Thank you, Taylor. Appreciate that. Frank, anything?
No, I mean, no, not on that. No.
Are there a lot of businesses in Castellamare owned by Bonventris and Buccellatos today?
Yeah,
you answer that.
Yeah, I mean,
I know one, but I mean,
yeah. I mean, these are all common names. I mean, now we were talking about you shouldn't like stereotype families. I mean, it's the same thing there. I mean, these are common names, and a lot of people own businesses or involved in politics, and they're not necessarily connected to these things because these names are so common there.
Is the professor still alive?
Yeah, Pepino, yeah.
He has a business, so
he's the best. He's such a good.
Everybody loves him. Everybody loves him. He's a great guy in town. That's a relative of James, and I had the pleasure of meeting a true gentleman. His dad was killed back in the 80s.
Yeah,
and a real true gentleman and a real nice guy. He's not into life, but
No, he speaks English very well too.
He does. He always every time you meet him, he's got to impress the Americans by talking English. He's great.
Yeah, yeah, he's good. But yeah, those are common family names even today. It's a small town, as you guys were saying before I jumped on.
Yeah, it's not big. It's big in area though, but not in people.
Right.
Dallas boss Joe Savello was the cousin of Frank DeSimone, I think. I think Bill also said he had info on Dallas too. He says, thanks for answering the question.
I don't remember what Bill. I mean, I've looked through those biographies a number of times, but I don't remember what Bill said about Dallas specifically. I'd have to double check. I don't remember.
Can we drop the link if we have any time for Mr. Nadeau?
Sure. Lefty has a question if you want to read it right there.
Where is it? Do you feel like you have any unfinished business after you left the life, family not included? I don't know. It's not smart for me to say, but at times I felt that I wish I would have got my deal a lot later, so a lot of people would have got what they had deserved. But then I guess that's not cool to say because I like my life. I'm glad I didn't put it that way because my life has turned around. I'm in a good place, mentally, spiritually. Not that I'm a very religious guy, but things start to change as you get older. And yeah, I mean, but yeah, I've had thoughts of people that I probably when you flip, you go, if I would have got a deal for 1 or maybe 5, what's the fucking difference? You know what I mean? But that's not a good way of thinking, and I don't think that way anymore. So, but.
Will Hildebrand, why aren't the BFM fight with Canadian Hells Angels fight a bigger story here?
And they don't really. The United States doesn't really cover organized crime in Canada. I mean, unless it connect like the Rizzuto thing directly connected to the Joe Pistone case.
Yeah.
But unless it directly connects to the United States, it is kind of underreported here. I
Yeah,
I
I
don't
mean that's
really
like
know
you
how.
guys got to go to YouTube for that stuff. I mean, media as a whole, like if you put on the news or whatever. I mean, I don't see any news networks covering any organized crime at all. To be honest with you, I don't. I don't think it's a priority for them, even in the United States. So, but Jeff says he covered it. Yeah, so you guys got to go to YouTube. You got to go wherever on the internet to find this stuff.
Yeah, I mean, I know, I know Jeff's covered it at the old OG podcast. I know Scott, they're still doing it, so Scott covers it. But I agree with Jeff. Other than YouTube, like you're not going to find like traditional media, CBS or whatever, really talking about it. I mean, the only organized crime they really talk about at all would be the cartels. Sometimes you'll hear about some
Right.
cartel stuff.
Yeah,
I know out west, like I lived in Arizona for a while. They'll and California, I lived for a while too, and they'll talk about bikers in the news. But otherwise, for national news media, yeah, they don't seem to be interested in what's going on in Canada.
No, your ex buddy does though. Every time
he covers it a lot. Yeah.
Oh yeah, he your ex, your buddy. My bad. That's not cool. Yeah. No, my bad.
Ex co-host.
No,
ex
co-host.
co-host.
That's what I should say.
Yeah, former co-host. Yeah.
Are you still there to do?
James, are you suggesting that mainstream media is lazy and incompetent? Well, I guess it's just not a priority, right? I mean,
yeah, I think. I mean, my students are pretty surprised when I, talk to them about how violent things are in Canada. I mean, you were back to this idea of stereotypes again. Living in Detroit, you spent most of my life in Detroit. There's this kind of stereotype that Canadians are very polite and very friendly.
Yeah.
And so people will joke like when you say there's outlaw bikers and mafia and cartels in Canada, like what do they, after they kill you, do they apologize? Do they say they're sorry? There's these jokes. And I don't think people realize it's pretty it's no joke up there, especially in Montreal, actually Toronto, I mean Hamilton, there's Vancouver, a lot of street gangs in Vancouver. It's a thriving underworld in Canada.
And what's the thing there? What is it like? It's like a gangsterism charge or something. It's not RICO, right?
Yeah, they don't have RICO there. Yeah,
right.
Yeah. I think there've been some attempts to beef up the laws there, but the guy who Sal Montana, the guy who killed him, Desjardins. I mean, he's already on the street.
Yeah, no, that's incredible. The laws that seem like they're not as I mean. That's fine, whatever. I'm not trying to, have discretion on who gets more prison time than the other guy. But it seems like they don't have the same laws that we do when it comes to putting people away.
Yeah.
New Theory podcast hosted by Tom Vecchia. There he is. Dr. James, do you ever cover La Stida? Is that how you pronounce it?
La Stida.
La Stida?
Yeah, I mentioned them. I do talk about, I mean, not very much because I just don't know a lot about them, but
excuse me a sec. Excuse me.
Yeah, I do mention the other Italian mafia groups because I just want my students to know it's not just Cosa Nostra. So we talk about Gomorrah, the Calabrese, what's the other in Puglia, this Sacra Corona Unita, but not too much though. But I do mention those other groups.
I'm back.
Unique Masters. Brett, did you do a story on the guy pouring oil on Franny? No, I've never done that story. That's that's an old story from Queens. Francis Lewis Boulevard is a famous racing strip here in Queens. And the story goes that years and years back, a guy on Francis Lewis got a little tired of all the racing and the noise and threw some oil in the street, which apparently caused a bad accident, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, that's a throwback. A little, maybe even before me, a little bit.
I mean, are those guys even around? The Tom's talking about the La Stida. I mean, are they?
They're over there in Jella. If I believe they're in the south.
I thought they were like on the ropes at one point. I thought Cosa Nostra kind of had them on the ropes, but maybe Tom can comment. I didn't realize that they were still a formidable group.
What do we got? We got some time left, do we?
Yeah. Here's a question. Are you the one that emailed me, Simon? Forgive me if I don't remember. He's looking for the Nardo Coppola episode that we're going to be doing. Yeah.
Yeah, it's gonna be a short one because I mean, like I said, I knew him in a very short time in my life. I knew the family. I knew a couple of theories on what he was about. Not that we're always floating. What happened to them that day? He got killed. It seems like he was more collateral damage. I think me and James had talked about that.
Yeah.
He was a diversion, if you will. Somebody had asked him to come by because Carmine wanted to talk to him, and he had a beef with Joe Toronto, so he went there so Carmine could mediate this fucking meeting. They could eat and talk about it, but at the same time, it's like making Carmine Alilo a little bit more relaxed. And we'll talk about the two that went to pick him up.
Jeff's doing a show involving Roma organized crime, Casmonica group out of Ostia near Rome. Roman organized crime, interesting with Roma people and Italians.
Yeah, the Roman organized crime had a lot. They were in bed with the neo-Nazi parties of the 70s. They coexisted together. Matter of fact, the guy who Pippo Galù had a very he was very real close with the Roman when he was hiding on the lam in Rome. With the fascist, but they weren't neo-Nazis. I'm sorry. There's a difference between Nazism and fascism, and they were fascists. They were not, and I get that mixed up sometimes.
Yeah, and I think they're, if I'm not mistaken, I think Tom and Jeff are talking about Roma as in like gypsies, not like Roman gangsters from.
Oh, like
Romani.
the Romani.
Right.
Yeah,
I believe that's what they're talking about.
I've had dealings with them in my old neighborhood. A lot of them. They're very unique. There's American. They don't want to be called gypsies, Romani people, but I'll call them gypsies because that's what I know them as.
Thinner.
There was Polish, Romanian, Yugoslavian, and I met all different ones. The ones that seemed like they were more and more by the old school, the women dressed and everything, were the Polish ones, believe it or not.
Yeah, I mean, they're talking about a marginalized group. I mean, they're usually shit on by everybody. Every place I've been in Europe, whatever beefs they have going on with each other, the one thing they all agree upon is they don't like the Romani.
No.
Yeah, I saw them.
Flag, right, and it has a wagon wheel in it.
I don't know.
Check it out. Their flag.
Is that right? Yeah, I saw them when I went to Italy. I mean, basically saw them everywhere, and I guess they get close to you in the train station. You need help with getting that card or whatever. They watch over you as you're doing things, and they act a little creepy. But the most fascinating thing to me about them was they looked exactly how they're supposed to look, I suppose. However, you're fed that imagery with the long dress and the hair and the mismatched shirt. Like they looked exactly how. I don't know, probably the same way they looked in the 1800s or whatever. They're just still rocking the same stuff. Yeah, I found that really interesting. But
they're Germany. I saw a lot of them in Germany.
Is that right?
Some of them are pickpockets, and I'm not trying to be like, I'm sure not all of them are, but I'm just saying that was an issue there.
Yeah.
Yeah, they do look alike. I met a whole bunch of them in Seattle. They were there, and they were talking with New York accents at New York cards. They were selling themselves as Italians. I said, "You ain't fucking Italian. I'm Italian, motherfucker." Yeah, but we got along. We didn't. They were fun. They used to come to this card room I used to hang out in.
Jeff says, I've always been fascinated how different the Camorra operate than the Sicilian Mafia or other southern groups. Camorra have women, bosses, children. Camorra, a drug trafficking organization, mostly anyway.
Yeah, they get more women involved. The Camorra does. I mean, there's women, Sicilian women that get involved, but not anywhere near the Camorra. I have a cousin of mine that she's a little bit heads on. She extorted the cash from Ocean 11 in Italy for her husband that was in jail. So I guess but it's not the case with the Sicilians. More of the Neapolitans.
Yeah, and usually in the Sicilian cases that it's because the husband is in prison and they're never an officially like inducted person. Even if the woman has stature and can call shots, she's never like I don't think the Sicilians were ever. They're still too macho. I don't think they would ever let a woman be a formal member. Whereas in the Camorra, yeah, it's different. I definitely it's interesting. The gender roles are different.
Camorra have 15-year-old bosses and neighbors. I was watching something on that. They were calling them the baby bosses or something.
I see that. Yeah.
Yeah.
I've been to Napoli and no offense to anyone, but I'd rather hang out on the east side of Detroit than, than Napoli. I thought it was pretty sketch.
Yeah, I don't want to get nobody pissed.
I couldn't wait to get to
Sicilia.
I couldn't wait to get out of there. With all due respect, con tutti rispetto to our Napolitan friends. It was. I mean, the part the old town by the water is kind of charming, but Napoli is there's like a lot of crime and poverty there.
And it's still like that. You figure it changed over the years because Palermo used to be the spot too. You know, back then there, but that's become crime is low now in these days in Palermo, like it used to be. It used to be bad.
Yeah, Palermo's not. Yeah, there's some rougher neighborhoods. There's some like immigrant neighborhoods there. They're having some issues with petty crime, but for the most part, I've always felt safe in Palermo.
Yeah.
I think we drive by it. We went down to Pompeii to see all that. You drive past it, I'm pretty sure, right?
Yeah.
Naples, yeah. So I think I do remember seeing like definitely some buildings that didn't look great and stuff. Kind of looked rough at some parts.
Yeah, I mean they have projects. I mean it looks just like on the TV show. Like they have like a lot of projects there, and you don't want to be caught there.
Yeah.
No.
There is some creators that go. They just go by themselves. They start walking around and filming, and I don't know. That's going to be Nadu next year. I think
he has a fascination with Naples.
He's thinking
it's like a horror show.
Yeah.
He gets excited. You ever see it? You ever hear him? He even throws out a couple of Napolitan phrases, which is funny as shit.
Have you guys watched that? Ever watched the TV show?
I started it. I started it. I gotta get back to it. I'm like 3 episodes in. I gotta get back to watching it.
Yeah, I seen the movie and the actual series. I liked it. I think when was the last time I seen it? Maybe during COVID. I seen the Gomorrah, the series, but the movie was really good.
I saw the movie in theaters when it was here at the Detroit Film Theater, but yeah, the TV show I haven't started. I'm embarrassed to say. I have colleagues in the Italian department that give me a hard time because everyone says it's one of the best shows ever. So I'm a little embarrassed.
Yeah.
Chang says, Frank, have you ever noticed any tensions between Zips and American-born mobsters during your time? No. I mean, not really. I'm pretty sure that there's been, but I haven't noticed it.
Jeff says it's the best show ever made.
Yeah, I hear that a lot. Yeah, I hear that a lot.
I don't know, man. It's good. I don't know about the best.
I'm gonna watch it. I'm gonna. It's on my. I just finished Penguin, and now that's my next.
Yo, Penguin was good.
I loved it. I loved Penguin.
I thought it was really good.
I liked it. I enjoyed it.
I liked it until he got the little kid driving around with him. That's a fuck. I ain't watching this shit. He could have got a better character to drive him around. I like the Sopranos meets Batman angle and all, but fucking, I mean, it got a little stupid when the kid was driving around.
You should watch it.
I like the cinematography though.
Yeah, I enjoyed it, but I still need to finish Narcos too. I really like Narcos.
That's done well.
Yeah, I want to finish that, but Camorra, that's definitely on my list. I have the first season on Blu-ray. I'm still old school. I like Blu-rays and DVDs, so I will get to it.
Yeah, don't watch Tulsa King, Frank. You're not gonna like his driver either. I guess.
Yeah, I haven't watched that either.
I didn't even. I wouldn't waste my.
It's corny, but it's something to watch. I enjoyed it for what it was. Some of it is really goosebump inducing, like really bad, but it's all right though. It's fun.
Man, anytime I watch anything about Sylvester Stallone, I hate my life even more, knowing that.
Yeah, I'm not sure. It's not good. It's just fun to watch. Sylvester Stallone can't even move his face anymore. Just his lips moving like this, like because he's so like shot up or whatever.
Tiger aftershave,
Yeah,
man.
Tulsa King sucks. Yeah, it's tacky. I think I got like
yeah. I'm not sure if I'll watch that.
every episode. I got like cringe. Like I had to decide whether I could finish it, but I got through it.
I never watched Gravesend either. I watched some of the trailers, and the trailers I'm like that seems terrible. I mean, have you guys watched that?
I did.
saw
I
the
kind of
first
liked
season.
it for a little bit, the first couple of episodes, but then somebody says, "Keep watching it. You're really gonna hate it." So I said, "All right," and sure enough, it got a little shitty, you know.
I saw the first season. I haven't seen the second
Right.
one. Let's see. Tom thinks Tulsa King isn't bad. Yeah, it's not bad. It's corny here and there. It's something good. It's fun. It's fun. That's how I put it.
Right.
Jeff says Gravesend is better than Tulsa King. Wow. Look at that. Look at that.
We're giving our own Razzies today.
Yeah. We used to have that guy Chunky. He used to make fun of William DeMeo all the time.
You know what they need though? You know what they need? A series about Albanians. I haven't seen one of them yet. Like Albanian crime.
Albanian crime.
Yeah, like a series.
I think they made a movie a while back with one of those guys, and the guy was actually from the Bronx that was in it.
What are those Liam Neeson movies where he kills he'll go to Albania and kill like fucking 500 people in the what were those movies called? Taken?
Taken,
yeah. How many
times when he's on the phone, he's like, "Yeah, I know who you are now. I heard your voice. I know it's you." Yeah, and then he just fucking whacks everybody. How many daughters did he
have? Every time they kidnap his daughter, he knocks up a crime family.
Yeah. Then they kidnap his wife, and then they kidnap his other. Every sequel, a different family member, and he goes to Albania and kills everybody.
Yeah.
But not a serious, right? I'm not aware of like a serious drama about Albanian organized crime. I think it's a good point.
Yeah, they should have fucking if they kidnap a couple of family members of mine, tell them keep them. Fuck.
Do me a favor.
Yeah. Don't call me no more. It's like that Rodney Dangerfield joke. I call suicide a holiday and they put me on hold.
Yeah.
Chris Spina, Tulsa Kings and Mobs. Yeah, it's just a criminal show. It's fun. I mean, it's tacky. Yeah. Johnny Aletto needs to be the lead role. A-Light's going to star in the Albanian movie.
He falls in love with the boss's daughter, that kind of stuff.
John the Father. I knew John the Father.
Yeah, I banged her.
I've heard Yellowstone is good too. I haven't watched that. I've heard it's good.
I haven't watched that either. I'm a terrible show watcher. I'm not it takes me a while to get to it.
Yeah, me too. Yeah, me too.
Liam movies are a little realistic. Feel a little realistic to me.
The Danny Trio story would be good.
I don't know many Liam Neeson movies. I know he pisses his pants all the time. Apparently, there's always like a new photo of him pissing his pants.
Well, I mean, to Cindy, Cindy's point. I mean, human trafficking is a real sex trafficking. I mean, that is a horrible thing. It's an underreported thing. It's a real thing. I don't know how realistic it is that a guy goes and tracks down the people that do it and kills everybody. Yeah. But the crime itself is it is a real thing. It's sad.
Chunky Chunko said William DeMeo isn't even Italian. I heard that too.
He's Jewish, ain't he?
Is he Italian and Jewish?
No, I think he's Jewish, his son. That's not his real name.
Sit Down says he's Jewish pasta. He's Matza Pizza. That's what he is. Matza
Jewish
Pizza.
Pasta. Yeah,
Matza
he's a
Pizza.
let's get that.
He's like, here I am, everybody. I'm going down Avenue U right now.
And that's all his Instagram is.
I'm in my Cadillac cruising Brooklyn style right now.
So he's like a meme, He's like a real But I heard he got Shaquille O'Neal.
What's up, baby? What's going on? Matt's in the house. I just seen him. Did he change his name? Yeah.
I guess maybe he's Italian and Jewish. I guess
he used to be DeMeowitz.
Holy shit!
You got rid of the wits.
Brooklyn Bounce, yeah. Chunky Chunko had some great videos on William DeMeo, and I think it got back to William DeMeo, and they really wanted his ass. They really wanted to take him out.
Yeah, that's a great story. Maybe if my friend ever calls me, we could talk about that on here.
Yeah.
About that couple was robbing mob clubs. Yeah, absolutely.
The Uvas. Chris Spina says,
"Thank you, Jason.
The fraud Italian. Oh, he played Sammy the Bull. That's right. He played Sammy the Bull in that movie.
Couldn't get somebody better. I'd rather see Danny DeVito play Sammy the Bull than that fucking mud. You know what I'm saying?
I don't know.
Jesus Christ.
Jason Diamond, thank you, buddy. $49.99.
Wow.
Wanted to support. That
Thank
means
you.
a lot,
Thank you,
Jason.
Jason. Thank you, Jason.
Thank you so much, man. Appreciate it. Thank you to everybody for hanging out. 156 people in the chat.
156. Oh, great, man. Thank you, guys. Thank you. Thank you. We got a lot of good stuff coming up pretty soon. We were talking about the shows that we got coming. A lot of good, interesting stuff.
DeMeo is also in The Sopranos. You know who lives in my neighborhood, Jeff? That guy, Gaudio. What's his name? Peter Gaudio, the real jacked up looking, crazy looking dude. Yeah, he lives in my neighborhood. I've been seeing that guy around for years. He's a personal trainer, so I always see him at the park, like training people by the water and stuff. Seems like a nice guy. He was in a pretty big music video recently, actually. Who's that girl that's really big right now? The blonde.
Lizzo.
No, the blonde one that's really big right now.
She's been big for
She got some really catchy songs. Whatever. But he was in the music. I was like, oh shit, look, this guy's really doing it.
I don't remember who DeMeo played in The Sopranos. Was it like a extra or something like that? I don't remember. Oh, he played
Sabrina Carpenter.
There you go, Sabrina Carpenter. That's what I'm talking about. He's in one of her videos.
Who, DeMeo?
I was watching it. No, the guy in my neighborhood, the Gaudio guy.
Okay.
He's in Gravesend, that Gaudio guy. He's in a few. I think he was in Bronx Tale for like 5 seconds too. Which William DeMeo was also in Bronx Tale for about 5 seconds, I believe. But yeah, Gaudio, check him out. Crazy looking dude. Peter Gaudio. There you go, Taylor. You know who I'm talking about. Peter Gaudio. Nice guy. Peter Gaudio showed up on a live stream once with on somebody's show with I don't know, he was hanging out with some porn star or something. It was so weird. But sorry, Peter.
Oh, I remember that. Yeah.
He was a minor. Yeah, it was like a kind of a minor character. Yeah.
She's huge now. I guess he means maybe Sabrina Carpenter you're talking about?
Oh,
yeah,
Lizzo.
She's huge. Lizzo, fucking guy. Oh my god.
Lizzo's talented. All kidding aside, she plays that. What does she play? The flute?
I think so.
I don't know.
I think you're right. Yeah.
She plays the flute.
I think she's a musician in addition to
being a performer. Yeah, which is nobody does that. Like Sabrina Carpenter. What? I mean, she's a good-looking kid. Don't get me wrong, but what talent does she have other than singing and shaking her ass?
I don't know. I just know she's popular. I don't know. She's
very popular. She sings my favorite song, Espresso.
She got some pop songs, you know.
Espresso Boy.
Right. Espresso. That's your song. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm gonna make her run with the kids. The kids like her, and you know we got the girls, so we're like, I'm working late. I'm gonna say,
yeah, exactly.
Like,
exactly. There you go.
The Lizzo show.
What else? That's about it for now.
What was that character in The Sopranos? John's wife, Jenny.
Oh yeah, Jenny Sack.
Jenny said,
yeah. She was
wanted to whack Ralphie. You get whacked for that.
The big one. Yep.
So he said, "You know any Albanians?" Yeah, a lot of Albanians. Ridgewood had many of them. Told me. I got along with Albanians. I like the Albanians.
Do mobsters get to keep some rackets if they are shelved, or do they go broke?
They go broke.
They go broke.
And then if they got money, sometimes they ask them to pay to come back in.
She had 100 pounds.
100-pound mole, yeah. Her blood type was ragu.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right.
What we got?
William DeMeo like Lenny's disgusting people. Did Lenny suck? I never got a chance to go to Lenny's. I never got that chance to do what is that, a double slice sandwich or whatever the hell.
Double slice. That's on the Saturday Night Fever, right?
Yeah, but William DeMeo was cosplaying as De Niro, Travolta, in a lot of his social media posts. This said with James, did Joey the Con Lombardo start C-Note's Street Gang in Chicago? That's the rumor. Also, Albert Falcone Vanna was C-Note's as teen too.
Yeah, I don't know. I would have to ask My friend Frank knows him too. Tony from the Mob Archaeologist. He's a Chicago guy. He actually was, a gangbanger when he was younger.
Right.
Yeah, I'll have to text him and ask him. I know the C notes. I know what you're talking about. I mean, there were these like minor league, like these like multiracial gangs that were like, had Italian kids in them, and they were like a kind of minor league for the outfit. Like some of those guys would graduate to becoming made guys in the outfit. Via Vina, yeah. I think that's true, but I'm not sure. I'd have to text Tony from the Mob Archaeologist and ask him.
That show was short-lived, I guess. The Archaeologist.
Yeah, I just think they're all busy. I just don't think they've had time to put anything together. I'll text Tony now.
A lot of great brains though.
Yeah, those guys are the best.
Those guys are on it, and how
those guys, they have they're instant recall.
They do long episodes too. That's probably why it takes like a
Yeah.
lot of time to like put out that stuff. I saw Tom Vecchia in a music video today. Tom, you want to talk about that? I was on Instagram and this guy's channel comes up, and then I see Tom fucking.
Oh, is that what you sent me?
I said, look to the left. Tell me who you see. It was on Instagram.
Figure it out.
A rapper from Gravesend. I think his name is Cold Shoulder. And I'm watching the clip on Instagram. Yeah, Cold
Did you
Shoulder.
get to double kiss anybody?
And I see Tom standing in the corner. I was like, what the fuck? But I think Tom had him on his show too. So
I'm gonna check it out again, Tom. That was pretty good. Can we see it?
You know what's funny? Like, I went to the actual video, and I think the clip that's on Instagram is different than the actual music video.
So he was killing it, huh?
So I don't know if Tom. I'm not sure if Tom is. Oh, he said drop the link. Okay, Tom was going to come on and talk about.
Let's do it.
Yeah, I'm hungry, guys. I'm gonna drop out. I'll let Tom.
All right, James.
Tom
Appreciate you stopping
for
by,
letting
man.
me.
Thank you.
Yeah, thanks for letting me hang out with you guys.
Around, like always. I mean, don't be a stranger. Come down, man.
Yeah, I appreciate that, guys.
Anytime.
I'll talk to you guys soon. Have a good night.
Okay.
Thank you, James.
Good night, James.
Appreciate it. Thank you. There's the link. Hey, Drumcappella, did you say Franny Lou? You're going to be in Queens, Francis Boulevard? Let me know. Well, I think Ro texted me before. I think Ro texted me your number before. Yep, I got it. Here is Tom Vecchia. What's going on, Tom? How are you?
How are you guys?
What's up, Tom?
Oh, we gotta close. All right. Yeah. So I was I'm doing work right now, so forgive me. I'm all like, I got the NBA Buckman shirt on. I got like 30 of them. I just rotate.
Throwback.
I got like 30 of them. I just rotate them. So the guy Cold Shoulders, rapper at Gravesend. God, my hair's a disaster. And he did a video in Elizabeth, New Jersey, at my cousin's place, John's Cafe. It was an enclave of Italians back in the day. I can drop the link if you guys want to see a little bit of it. I wouldn't do the whole thing because I want people to kind of check it out. But I
just got the link in the private chat. That's what it is, right?
Yeah, if you want to pull it up, just I get killed in it, so people probably want to see that.
Oh, you do? All right.
Yeah.
Let me see if I could forward kind of to where that might be. Do you remember if it's in the beginning?
Great question. I want to say probably closer to the end, but it's funny because like a lot of the guys that were in it, like a few of them were in Gravesend.
Oh, is that right?
Yeah. I saw you. Like, I was in Gravesend. Oh, cool. I saw the first season. And then I was going to get the second season, and I just never got around to watching it. I heard it's not bad.
All right, so I'm going to share the screen. So we're going to see Tom get whacked.
My kids are still roasting me.
All right, let me just see. Sorry.
As you're setting it up, so Cold Shoulders out of Gravesend is a rapper, Italian American rapper, and he's very, very good.
I'll play it. I'll play it a little bit, and then I'm going to skip a little bit, and you just tell me when to stop it. I'll play it. I'll play a little bit of the song regardless.
Yeah, just to kind of give a little bit of context.
Poking them and filling it with Jack. Who you kidding? You was in the house. Two parents.
So it plays as like a mini,
writing rhymes, watching movies on the couch. A bunch of lies that be coming out your mouth. Who you kidding?
So this guy's trying to
two parents, so you do this shit for writing rhymes, watching movies on the couch. A bunch of lies that be coming out your mouth.
Very well done.
On the streets, we ain't speaking on a phone when it's beef. We eat the meat off the bone. And what good is having heat if you leave it at home? I'm the last on. Mask on, Vito Corleone, licking from the dome.
That guy, right? Yeah, I've seen him. That's probably where I've seen him.
I shot with him and I spent a little time with him. First of all, Jimmy, really nice guy. He's kind of that way, like that old, like, which I love. Like I'm like kind of a weird dude, like where I like the old school throwback guys that are like little, like kind of stoic and like, you know, the Cadillac and the. I love that shit, to be honest. He's a good dude. I enjoyed spending time with him.
Yeah, I like that stuff too. It's funny. Yeah. It's funny.
Also,
except for the way William DeMeo does. I don't really like that style. All right, let me see. Let me see if I can find Tom getting killed.
Never choke, lungs collapse. When they ask about you, I say so whack and I stop.
Kill the boss. I'm the driver.
Oh,
so
okay.
It's like literally not too far after.
So you're the Tommy Bilotti in this one.
Yeah, exactly.
All right, so let's see right here. Let's see what's up.
Yeah.
You never saw better. I'm telling you, from A to Z, my core mega. Who you kidding? You was in the house. Two parents, so you do this shit for clout. Writing rhymes, watching movies on the couch.
Giovanni.
A bunch of lies that be coming out your mouth. Who you kidding?
Both those guys. Pretty big actors too, like in the Italian kind of sphere.
You was in the house.
I get whacked next.
Parents, so you do this shit for clout. Writing rhymes, watching movies on the couch.
Right there.
A bunch of lies that be coming out your mouth.
So they're in the car. He's my cameo. That's it. They're coming out of the park football Boston.
That's the first time Tom got whacked. That's
that was good. That was the good win an Academy Award for that one.
I'm a little pissed because like they had a bigger. I didn't make the cutting room floor. They had me like leaning in, talking, and then I'm like struggling, carrying me out. But I guess they got on the cutting room. They were just like snip, snip.
Somebody's behind the scenes here. Pastor Bradley. I don't know. Let's see what Pastor Bradley has. Pastor Bradley. What's going on?
That's me.
Hey, how are you, sir?
Big up Donald.
McDonald's? What was that?
No, Donald.
Okay.
Who's that, Joe Messina?
No, right with that.
What do you want?
Scottish mother.
Joe Messina.
You want a number 2 and number 5?
Renault 5.
Fish. Talking to you,
Correct. Very well, thank you.
Where are you from, Pastor Bradley? You from Scotland or something?
Scotland.
There you go. All right.
All right, cool.
Are you Glaswegian? Is that what you guys call it? The Glasgow people?
Warwickshire.
Well, I knew it was some kind of shire was coming next. There definitely a lot of shires over there.
Warwickshire.
Are you golfing on Trump's course over there or what?
Fucking guy.
That's true.
Fucking guy hasn't left that room. You're talking about if he's gonna go golfing.
That's Ayrshire. Prune.
Oh, shit.
That's gonna be those Mel Gibson.
What do you got? You got some tobacco right there? Is that tobacco?
Sorry, I hit him back. I hit him fucking.
Mel Gibson's a fake.
I agree. Great.
Yeah, fucking links. He's got to grip. He's got to grip this.
I love about the internet. How does this guy find this show?
I don't fucking know.
Surprise me.
I like him though.
Oh yeah.
Go nowhere, buddy.
Hey, Pastor Bradley, how did you find this program tonight? How did you find us over here?
I've been watching for a wee while.
Oh, that's awesome. We appreciate it.
Are you ordained?
Watch two hookers come out of the door now.
Not yet.
We're gonna hook him up, Francis.
That fucking head
What
don't even
for?
fit the screen. God damn it, Pastor. Who shall fucking wait?
Hey,
Off with her head.
All right, come on, be nice.
Be
I'm
nice.
being nice. I mean, I'm being the asshole. I didn't call for this.
Lanarkshire.
Be nice.
Yeah.
Give me
What are
here's
you
the-
saying, Bradley? Rothshire? What is a Rothershire? What are you saying?
Lanarkshire.
Interesting. Okay.
Somewhere in the federal protection witness plan.
Not yet.
Yeah, my bad. We got time.
What's your favorite football team?
The Rangers.
Okay, that's
The Glasgow Rangers.
that tracks.
I'm a fan of
Off
the
with her
racist
head.
stuff.
Fuck the Catholics.
You get me?
Yeah.
I can't answer that. Can't answer that either.
Look
Plead
at
the fifth. Can you plead the fifth in Scotland? Does that exist?
well, there's no constitutions like that,
Just what?
or at least an American.
Ancient.
Look at-
What's up, Danny Jesse? What's going on, Mickey? Let
Hey,
me say
Fred, check out Taylor's comment.
Sure.
what did Taylor say.
That's about naughty.
This guy's 5 seconds away from Yeah.
Yeah,
That's naughty.
I think you're right.
That's naughty. Yeah, that's naughty.
Watch, he has to fucking
Very
chicken
naughty.
over there tied up.
Yeah. Hey, Anthony
Chicken.
Tamanesi, what's going on? I called you back earlier. I know you're dying over there, but couldn't be
And
calling
I
you
got
this
your
time.
uncle here. Get him off the fucking screen.
Anthony. Who's
That's
on?
all right. Handle
Yeah,
that.
yeah. Pastor Bradley.
Thank you. Spread the word.
I'm losing it. This fucking guy's great.
Thank
Hey,
you.
Pastor Bradley, do you regularly consume like mafia content or mob genre stuff, or
So no,
I watch it. I
You
watch
watch
it.
who's your favorite?
I do.
Favorite.
It's not Sammy.
Okay,
Oh, it's not Scammy, you said?
it's not Sammy.
I'm not Sammy.
Francis?
I don't know. Tells a good story.
He's got some pomegranate wine. You know, he's got some good wine. Some
You don't drink, okay?
Allegedly.
allegedly.
You don't drink.
Sometimes.
Oh yeah, sometimes.
Sometimes.
He
Not
consumes a
wine
lot.
though.
Last call.
Let's
I mean, this is
Let's go.
This is like this is the Scottish. I don't know if any of the OGs in mob genre remember Smoking Tommy. Rest in peace. This was like this is like a Smoking Tommy type guy right here.
he's got
Who
a-
remembers Smoking Tommy? Let me get a one in the chat if you remember Smoking Tommy.
Oh, yeah.
He has since left this earth.
James Cagney.
James Proctor.
You know James Proctor?
Cagney.
Oh, Cagney. James Cagney.
Same shit.
Well, James Cagney.
Carla Gambina.
You got any questions for our guest, Tom?
Guess.
For our guest, the pastor.
Oh,
Is that Tom Levine?
wow. You know who I am? Wow, that's a big deal. Now I really made it.
Oh,
Now I really made it.
Tom's big in Scotland.
Now I really made it.
Hey, do you
There you
know
go.
Jeff? Do you know the Sit Down with Jeff Nadeau? Are you aware of this channel?
I watched it.
You've watched it before. What is your opinion on Jeff
Uh-huh.
Nadeau? Do you like his content?
I don't know.
Yeah.
It's a tough one. He said you got to think about. Does he know Bet David? Because we got him here. You want to talk to Bet David?
Is that
You like
that guy interviewed Sammy Gravano?
Yeah, Bet David. Yes, that guy. He's here. We
Sammy
got him.
Gravano. Yeah, that's the
Say
guy.
hi to
That's the
Pastor
guy.
Bradley, Bet David.
Pastor
Sammy
Bradley, let me
Rat.
know what's going on in Scotland, Pat. This guy.
Not Sammy.
Don't talk about me, Bo. Do me a favor. Keep my name at your mouth, Bo. I don't know Scotland, Bo.
You wouldn't survive in Scotland, Sammy.
That was Sammy. He had a message for
You
you.
went surviving. Sammy went surviving Scotland. Good for you, Pastor. I just telling him. You got anything else to say to Pastor Riley? You better fucking
Sorry.
watch yourself, okay? Pastor
What,
Riley's a-
Sammy?
Sammy, your turn.
This is great. This
Sammy
is like
went
an
to
old school
Scotland,
episode over here.
Scotland.
This is fucking really phenomenal, to be honest with you. This is good.
Off we seed, Sammy.
Did you see Taylor ask him to unpack and ask how he became who he is today?
James Buccelato's back in the mob boxerologist.
I think James got off at the wrong time.
I can't even.
Robert the Bruce for Sammy.
Spartacus.
Oh my god.
Off we seed.
I am Spartacus.
Hey, Pastor.
Pastor.
If I may,
Yeah, think again.
if I may call you Pastor, what is your who is your favorite mafia figure? Do you have anybody that you like to watch content? John Gotti, a Tony
I
Soprano,
like the
perhaps?
story.
Huh?
I like the Sopranos.
He likes the Sopranos. Okay.
Oh, the Sopranos. Okay, okay.
His blood type is ragu.
So more of a Tony Soprano.
Box set. Great box set.
Yeah, man. You fucking the comments are great, guys.
This is phenomenal.
Brilliant.
This is great.
Sopranos.
Romano.
As M. Soretti would say, real mob content, dude. That's exactly what's
We're
going
bringing the
on.
guest today, boy.
I watched
Jeff
them
says
all.
this is not him in 25 years. Not Jeff.
Who said that?
Jeff said-
Big up, Donald.
People are awful.
Hey, Pastor, you remind me of the guy that was in Beetlejuice. You remember that guy from Beetlejuice, the first one?
I
He
did.
was like, yeah. That's kind of who you remind me of, in the best way possible. I mean that.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
You're welcome, Pastor.
Thank you very much.
Yeah.
The fucking house is gonna blow up.
Fuck is going. Hey, Tom, you got anything to add? Any questions?
I, for once, I'm speechless.
Yeah. This is it, man.
How you doing, Tom?
I'm well. How are you?
He knows you.
I'm very well, thank you.
So you've actually seen my channel?
I have.
Oh, awesome. Any particular interviews or shows that you liked?
A Beetlejuice.
Who was that?
Don't say it. Don't say it again. You'll go. No, don't say it 3 times, please. Don't do that, Pastor.
Who
Or
was that?
Poltergeist. The one with the big cartoon.
Pastor Bradley, I got to give you credit for figuring out how to even get into this chair.
Thank you very much.
I think
I
he's
just thought of that. That was pretty good. You know how
Maybe
many people
easy
have
vodka.
problems getting into this thing?
David Price, that's brilliant.
I've got
Peachy
my hat
vodka.
on my hat. How's that?
If you guys don't have 52 topics with Frank
What one?
and Pastor Bradley, then you're missing out.
No, that's the
That's
best guest we've
me.
had so far.
Are you a real pastor, or you just kind of play one on TV?
That's
I'll
like
dock my hat
oh, he's a pastor.
Oh, okay.
at Poltergeist.
A poltergeist. So you like one of them? What do you call that?
So the ones with the big cartoon.
You do them exorcisms? Is that kind of your thing? Is that what you do?
Circumcisions.
No, I don't.
Exorcism?
I don't. I can't answer that.
Okay. Do you drink E.G. vodka? David Price wants to know.
No,
Nah.
I don't. I've heard that. I don't drink it.
Yeah, I don't know if they sell it over there yet. It'll be there soon though. It's
don't
vegan, it's
drink
gluten free.
spirits.
Just so you know.
I don't drink spirits.
What?
I'll dock my hat.
There was I'm looking up. There was an area in Scotland that had like a cluster.
I know.
think either Camorra or Ndrangheta. They were washing money over there in Scotland, and there was like a cell. I thought I was 90% sure it was Ndrangheta, but I googled it and it said Camorra, and the Camorra guy got pinched. They were like buying out like a lot of the restaurants in the area, and then they were washing some money, and they eventually got pinched. But they had like a whole neighborhood, as I understand.
Possibly.
Is that true, Pastor Bradley? You have some of those Italian organized crime figures over there in Scotland?
Allegedly.
Allegedly, yeah, good answer. Good answer. Hey, you're gonna pull the wool over his eyes.
Oh,
He's not gonna incriminate himself.
This is great.
More with chip shops.
We need subtitles for that one. I didn't get it. What do you say?
Chip shops.
Oh, chip. Oh, okay.
French fries in America.
Hey, what's your opinion on America? You like the United States of America? You think it's cool? A little bit?
Oh, Buffalo.
Okay.
Let's unpack.
I agree.
Let's unpack.
From Mississauga into Buffalo.
Buffalo. Okay.
New York State.
Frank, you got anything to add?
Over
This is your show. You know, you can.
Over the Niagara Bridge.
Oh, so you went over there, Buffalo, Niagara, Canada. You've been around up north, north.
Yes, Mississauga.
Mr. Saga?
Mississauga.
Mississauga.
Yes.
Okay. Mississauga. I never heard of it, but I'm sure.
10-minute drive to Niagara.
Okay.
Is he a made guy? Joe Root asks.
Are you a made guy, Pastor Bradley?
I am.
Okay.
Wow, that's why you're not showing us your face, right?
No, he's not showing his
face.
face.
Correct.
Because you're a made guy. You're a made guy. Hitting the mattresses.
He's with the Ranzoni family.
You passed Hamilton on the road to Niagara.
Hamilton to Niagara. That's Canada, ain't it?
Yeah. Chemical plant.
Oh, okay. What do you know? What do you think? We're gonna rap?
Yeah, well, somebody in our chat, Pastor Bradley, that's apparently a fan of yours. He wants you to yell out the word freedom
real loud,
as loud as you can.
Freedom.
You can do better than that, Pastor. Come on.
From Hamilton.
Freedom from Hamilton. Like Hamilton the play.
Hamilton.
Yeah, Hamilton.
Hamilton, Scotland. Hamilton.
Oh, you're from Hamilton, Scotland. That's where you're from, Hamilton, Scotland. Is that correct?
Not far. Not far.
Oh, he's saying Mississauga, just outside of Toronto.
Hamilton, South Lanarkshire.
Okay.
Hamilton, Niagara Falls.
Niagara Falls. I got that one.
Yes.
Okay.
He's just one word. Niagara Falls.
Petrochemical plant, Hamilton.
He's asleep. He's like, what the fuck? He's on the Twilight Zone with this guy.
Hamilton.
Hamilton, yeah. He's getting up.
Godzilla.
Get up. Come on, get up. Give us a stretch.
Yeah. We're gonna probably we don't want to see him up. God knows we're gonna see. Oh, he's stretching. Look. Come on, bro. This is gonna be better than about 2 minutes.
Bum bum.
He broke it.
Don't go Sonic the Hedgehog on us. Come on.
No, Jesse goes.
No yet.
This is
Are you
great.
punching Sammy the Bull?
Can I ask how many people we got on here?
138.
Two to punch.
Kill to punch.
Man.
No. Yeah.
Kill to punch.
To the man.
Can we
Hey,
request
Pastor Bradley, listen, we're live every Monday night, so maybe next Monday come say hi to us, all right?
Oh, please
But
do so.
I'm gonna let you go, Pastor. Thanks for joining us. We're about to head out.
Good night now.
Sir.
Good night, Pastor.
Any
Good night.
closing words? Anything?
All the best.
Oh, that's great. Thank you. All the best to you too, sir.
All the best.
Hopefully next
All the
time you
best.
won't be in the same spot, or maybe, but we'll see you next
Thank
time.
you, sir.
Thumbs up. Thumbs up. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
If I could answer Anthony Tavanese real quick, he asked if I ever did anything with
Sure.
in Toronto. I did an episode with, I think 2 actually, with Antonio Nicasso, and then his specialties in Dragata, especially Toronto. It was a pretty good episode. Should be in my library. You can probably Google it or search it. It was a pretty good one with Antonio, so check that out. It was a pretty good one. I'd like to do like more of that, but just need the time. What was that about?
I don't know. My thing is, I don't know how he got on here.
Oh, when you dropped the link for me, he jumped on.
No, that's all good. I'm just saying he must be a fan of this genre, kind of, I guess, huh?
Well, he knew Sammy. He knew. Well, I feel bad because you brought up that, and I shouldn't laugh because he passed, the Tommy guy. He came on one of my lives one time and he berated me about like the vaccination because we were talking about it, and I said I think it's a personal choice or whatever I said, and he just like ripped me apart. I think he said I should like die or something. I don't know. He really leaned into me. I was like, okay, so.
We should have like 10 seconds later showed that clip of you in the video getting strangled.
Yeah, that's gonna be my intro now. It's gonna be my intro. Well, when you guys come up, it lives a little far, but it's a good spot. Used to be a lot of Italians that way. It was called Peterstown, but there's the best pizza you're gonna get. I put
Really?
when you guys come around the corner is Vinny's Pizza. It's a thin kind of sliced pizza if you like that style. Excellent. It's rated one of the best pizzas in the state, probably in the area.
Looking forward to that. No, for real.
It's sponsored by Just for Men. I should be. I need it.
All right, what are we doing? We're good.
All right, I'll let you guys close out. Thanks, Brett, Frank.
You're the best, Tom. Thank you for coming here. Thank you.
Guys. Thanks for having me, guys. Ciao, ciao.
Of course. So that was interesting. Your mic.
That was fun. Sorry, Tom. Have a good night. I didn't realize my mic was off. I got to stop doing
Yeah.
that. But that was interesting. That was fun. That was like the old school genre.
Yeah. Thank you, guys.
Let me say thank you to everyone who donated tonight. I want to say thank you to Timothy O'Reilly, $2. He said, "Good job on OC Shorts." Simon, $10. Taylor, $10. Jason Diamond, $49.99. Thank you so much, everybody who donated to the chat tonight and who came and hung out. Mickey Griggs, Tony Kamaj, William Brooklyn, Drumcappella, Pasta Patate, the great Roro. Carm says legendary cameo. Yeah. Matt, my man, thanks for stopping by. Joe Root, thank you to James Buccellato for coming on. Thank you to Tom Vecchia. Thank you to Pastor Bradley for coming on.
The lovely Miss
Maureen. For now, y'all got to shout out the pastor because he's in the chat. Got to send him the link. Yeah, shout out Pastor Bradley for sure. I'm impressed he got in.
Yeah, sure. Oh, yeah. Where was this camera angle, though? We had the back of his neck and so that was.
I have no idea.
He started working out a little bit. You see that?
Thank you to the great Roro for being the best moderator. We really appreciate you, Roro. Thank you so much. Thank you, Dan Tundis. Hit the like button. David Price. Thank you very much. Ladies and gentlemen, if you haven't yet, check out our clip we put up on Frank spending time in MDC with Ali Boy Persico. Check out the clip, which was from conversation me and Frank had on NYC Crime Spot. We put it on the channel today about Maria Hernandez. We're supposed to have something out on Wednesday. We'll see what happens. We got to discuss that. 1 million anniversaries. Thank you, buddy. $20.
Thank you.
Make sure you go and sub to 1 million anniversary. Thank you, Jesse Roth. Thank you for stopping by.
Corruption Connection too. I see you out there.
Connection.
I'll give you a call soon.
Chang Lang, thank you, 1 million anniversaries. Appreciate you, bro. Everybody go sub to his channel. He's also running a channel.
And we did say
Roro.
Southie, you're the best.
Yes, we reached over 100K views. Yep. We're doing it right over here. Thank you, Roro, for the reminder. We'll probably see everybody on Wednesday. So we appreciate all of you once again. And check out if you haven't seen, check out Frank on OC Shorts. That is on the go to YouTube, just type OC Shorts, you'll see it. If you like that sort of thing. All right, ladies and gentlemen.
One last thing before I go. If you guys have any recommendations on a story, maybe we're not thinking about doing, or it's not out there, just give us give us a couple ideas or something that you want us to cover, and we'll go there.
Yep. And one more thing, again, as I said earlier, check out NYC Crime Spot this week. I think probably Thursday, I'll be releasing a discussion that I'm having with somebody. I interviewed somebody for the channel. That'll come out this later on this week. So please keep an eye out for that. Lefty, have a good night. Simon, everybody, love you guys. Thank you. Have a good night.
Good night.